Seriously hoping that this has worked and that we are live. I'm going to wait for someone to give me a thumbs up.
Proof of life.
Proof of life, exactly. Proof of concept. To say that not only are they here, but also they can see. We've got no people watching so far, which I think is a good sign. Let's just text. We should be live now. Any luck? No people. No people. One person. We've got a thumbs up. Okay, this means that we must actually be live.
Good.
Let's wait a couple of minutes. Hip Shoot Film. Hello, Hip Shoot Film.
Yay!
Cheers. Hoot, hoot. We're just going to wait for a couple more people. So I didn't think about the... By the way, Ben, can you hear us all right? Can you do a thumbs up?
it's difficult having a one-way...
You are live. We are live. Are we loud and live?
Can be louder.
There's no response. Thumbs up. Hopefully that means yes.
Should I be eating at the beginning?
Yes. It's exactly the professional view. So it feels a bit like the start of a meeting where you're like, we'll wait for a few more people to turn up before we get started. So we spent the last hour preparing. Thank you very much. Perfect. We spent the last hour preparing, but of that hour, most of it was spent just chatting. So we've solved. Okay, hello. We can see people. Brilliantly, loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Definitely loud. Okay, we'll step back a little bit. Sounds good. Amazing. You are wonderful. Okay, incredibly loud. We'll tone it down a little bit. But be louder. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We're going to get cracking. So first of all, worth pausing a moment and saying the Analogue Spotlight. How do I watch that on my phone? Sarah, you can go to youtube.com, I think is the website. Search Analogue Wonderland and do it there, I think. I'll try. Okay then. So when we talked Analogue Spotlight months ago, we had a dream of 30 film companies, 10,000 people, maybe too loud, which is the volume, 10,000 people and the NEC. And then we had a dream that we would be 30 companies, 20 people in Worcester, and the reality is it's me and Graeme in a room with the internet.
It's a dream come true. And it's pouring down with very noisy rain as well.
So again, if that drowns us out, then please let us know. But we are here because we couldn't let this weekend go by without some kind of acknowledgement that we were going to have the first Analogue Spotlight at the photography show since digital first came onto the scene.
To clarify, I'm here because Paul press ganged me into it, basically.
Yeah, I invited him to something totally different and then locked him in a room.
Come for dinner. Now you can't leave until you've
Yes, rain is causing a loud noise. It now seems to have stopped. This is the world we live in, torrential rain. So we've got a few things that we're going to rattle through. We've booked in 3 hours, which seems a ridiculous amount of time, but that will involve a Q&A at the start. We've got a game show with the chance to get involved as well.
I bought a velvet jacket, guys.
Velvet jacket. We've got prizes. We've got prizes. That is worth saying quite early on. We are going to try. The software tells me that we can phone people in, so we are going to try and Skype Hamish, which might be a step too far. Worst case scenario, we get him. Best case, it doesn't work, so that'll be fine. I'm hoping as well that on Twitter there are people following #Analogue Spotlight. I know that Richard was going to look on there, Em was going to be on there, and we'll cover some of the questions. Now, before we dive straight in, it's worth saying Kodak very kindly have donated a lot of film. This was film that they had earmarked for the photography show that they then sent me for the photo walk yesterday that didn't happen. Hello, guys. And now they've kindly said we can keep them here. We have 5 bricks of 10 colour plus each. So we are going to give these away across the course of the next few hours. Now, the big thing to say, obviously, is the world is a terrifying place at the moment for one big reason we all know. We are going to cover it at the start because a couple of people in the Q&A part asked us to talk about the impact of coronavirus on the industry. After we've done that question, we will not talk about it for 3 hours. So what we're hoping is that there's a little bit of escapism, a little bit of fun. We have no idea what we're doing, so it's going to be entertaining one way or another. It's going live, so it'll live on the internet forever, one way or another, and some people will get filmed. But big positive, lots of fun. I think that's the main message. Graeme, anything to add?
I've got custard creams. Sorry.
So that's perfect. So there will be different reasons why people can win the film across the time. The first one, though, we're going to have to judge afterwards. But the first prize will go to the person who comes up with the best film photography related pun or joke. And what we're looking for is we're looking for the classic, like somebody walks into a bar and there's a yashika and something fun happens, or
the classic. Oh,
yeah,
I love that one.
Or knock knock, who's there?
A yashika again.
Yeah, brilliant. Anything like that, or a pun, always useful. We will give a brick of Colour Plus the best film photography.
If it's not significantly better than that, we'll ban you from this live stream.
Exactly, and then we'll do more as we go through. Okay then. Right, so fun to start us off with is going to be the QA. Also, before we get cracking too far, just want to say a huge thanks to Rob Percy and Studio 88 who have put us up here. They Analogue Wonderland headquarters is just over there, and we had said on Friday we will just sit in the office and do a bit of a thing. Rob texted me and said in a nice way that would be a bit rubbish compared to an actual studio. I said excellent point. He said you can come and use the studio under the conditions of you allow me to do my work in the background and you don't put me in front of the camera. So he is going to join the game show later. Because when somebody offers to help us, we try and kick them as fast as possible. But fantastic studio here. We will do a little bit of a walk around. You'll see a bit more. Lovely chap who has stepped in. So thank you very much, Rob.
I hope you're keeping track of what's going on there, because I can't see that at all.
People are now talking to each other.
Good.
So,
talk amongst yourselves.
Yes, we can see the comments, although our growing age and the small screen means it's not immediately obvious, so we will probably just try and duck in and out to see them as we go through.
We will.
If it gets really desperate...
Guys. Also... It's all about the merchandising. Don't be answering.
So is this a one-off or the?
Well, there's about 4 of them because I got one. It would have been selfish to get one just for me, so I also got one for Rachel and A. Not one size fits all, and it's not being shared. I'm not posting this one to Rachel and then to A.
It's a virtual 4. It's basically one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with the questions. So people were very kindly. Perfect. All right. So Sam's already confident he's going to win the jokes. So we had some questions come in to Instagram over the last few days. So we're going to start here. Let's start with the big one, which is the effect of coronavirus on the film industry. A couple of people messaged me that. We're going to start with the serious. We'll end with the facetious, and then, as I say, we'll move on to the positive.
That's my job, yeah.
So from a serious point of view, I think the first thing, and a few people have already pinged me about this, is obviously we are within the photography industry, and what's not happening at the moment is any kind of get-togethers, any kind of travel, and a lot of people looking after costs. From a company point of view, that affects freelance photographers obviously a huge amount. So I know quite a lot of my customers, the community, who have suddenly gone from 3 months of booked work to pretty much nothing. I know that's the case across quite a few. So I think the first thing is going to be, as always, a feeling there for anyone who relies on discretionary marketing work that involves people getting together by its nature is going to have a hard time, which is awful. So thinking of those guys in particular, anyone who's in that position, as we sort of then think film the next stage. I mean, I can talk a little bit for us, and then we can speculate, and as I say, we'll then get facetious. I know that we saw a massive drop-off in sales middle of last week, as I think the severity of the impact started to hit, as people started to worry about financial security and that kind of thing, which just means that I think a lot of small businesses are going to go through a period of being very careful about how they survive. Myself and Mary spent Friday working out basically how we would cope as a business if we lost a month of revenue. We've done things like separate shifts so that people aren't in the same room over that kind of time, and that's just going to be a reality that I know a lot of small businesses face. that's going to be true across the film industry because, of course, a lot of film photography is small businesses. Now, this isn't going to turn into a selfless pitch to buy more film because I know
It makes a nice change.
exactly. I know there is a lot more priorities out there. I think what I would say is the businesses you care about,
That's what I would say.
whether that is a retailer, whether that's a lab, whether that's a cafe, whether that is a shop down the road from you. As a small business owner, more than anything, this is going to be a terrifying time. The big companies will have shock absorbers, the little ones won't. Graeme, how's the gardening world doing? Anything?
I'm all right. I mean, the thing is, as you said, that people working in this, it's. We were talking to Rob earlier, and about the fact that if the virus, if you get a case on the business site where you're working on here, their choice is that they're just going to close the site down. So then you just won't be able to operate from here. And I'm sure that is not isolated at all. Likewise, there's a reasonably high likelihood that companies like Ilford and Kodak, any of these factory-based companies, could be at risk of having to shut down. But yeah, it's there's no way it's not going to have an impact at this point. But we just have to soldier through. And as you said, I think if your hobby can still help support the people who rely on it for a living, if you can keep buying film if you're still shooting it, then that's great. But within the grand scheme of things, film shooting is it. But at the same time, people's livelihoods. Like I said, Rob's a professional photographer. He's already been saying that he's seeing business work drop off, both because people don't want to get people together to shoot, but also because projects are being cancelled, because budgets are being tightened up and so on. So it's going to have an impact. But
yeah. So I think that's all we want to say there. Let's just double check. So Sam from Solarcan saying that he's lost a lot of revenue with both sales down, workshops down, and that kind of thing. People are still saying going on photo walks, and obviously that's fine. I mean, we cancelled the weekend's photo shoot, not necessarily because walking around outside is particularly high risk, but more the travel aspect, and also people who then couldn't do it. It was putting a lot of, I think, people were starting to think whether they should go even if they didn't want to because other people were, and it was the right thing to say that. Now, me and you, we wandered around you live very close to me, but we wandered around outside on Thursday. You can still shoot, but people aren't going on holiday, people aren't booking professional shoots, and that is a lot of our business, a lot of photographers. So that's one thing definitely to say. Again, so Rach is saying, workshops being cancelled, venues not getting people, their budget disappearing. Richard works for a big company. There's a couple of people saying big companies, there's a bit of buffer, but it's still terrifying. We totally appreciate it. John says hello, which I think gets to the real heart of the matter.
Yeah, the thing, just to quickly go back over that thing with the weekend, and the reason that we ended up having to pull the plug on the smaller get-together at the weekend was essentially people started having to pull out. So Yuho, who had been planning on coming over and was going to be quite a large party, planning on doing loads of interviews and stuff, suddenly the risk of making a 2,500 mile journey overland, not in terms of risk of illness, but just in terms of getting stuck somewhere, went up significantly. And there were other people as well who started saying, actually, because of this thing and that thing, I might not be able to come. And it just reached a tipping point where we went, okay, we're now just pushing you uphill.
If you want, I mean, it's the kind of thing that hopefully in 2 years' time, it will be the most incredible story that Yuho's ever told. But if you followed Camera Rescue's Instagram stories over the last 3 days, they have been crazy. They've been getting to borders 2 hours after they're shut, driving round a country to get to the next one, boats, whatever they can do with the ambulance. So that's definitely big. I'm just going to jump in quickly and check. I can hear my phone buzzing. Thank you. I will definitely turn my phone away. Good job. And everyone else is saying, okay. There's a hashtag that's going on saying, Graeme, keep your shirt on. Which I think is pretty important as well.
I guess that's because it's such a lovely shirt.
Exactly. And also, of course, final thing to say on that part is people's circumstances are different. Someone's saying immunocompromised and things like that. Again, when I say I'm going on a photo walk, everything's different. So that's, I think, then the final thing to say is from the other side, so from factories and from big companies. Factories that make film are large gatherings of people by definition, and they require international shipping. Both those things are being put on hold. Film Ferrania is based in Italy, of course. What we are seeing is that supply is definitely going to be tough over the coming months. That's not new for film. I thought it was going to come to an end soon. It's going to carry on. That's not saying everything's ground to a halt. There are still enough stock in the system. We are just going to have to make sure that will take a while to pick back up. Innovation is likely to be delayed, either because the factories can't make it or because people need cash flow to invest in it, and that kind of thing. So I think we have a range of, within our industry, there are the freelancers, the self-employed, the people who need a lot of care and love. There's the people like myself caught in the middle as a small business who are working our way around. And to be clear, the 4 weeks of revenue without that, we do have a plan. When it gets a bit more, it'll be a bit more. But let's see how that goes. And then the big guys will be there. Things will be delayed. Things will be slower. But hopefully we'll get through this.
Next question, Paul.
Facetiousness. And then we'll move on and never say Corona again for 3 hours. Facetiously, what will good things happen? Darkroom printing. Self-isolation. Dark rooms. Cyanotypes. That will kill viruses. Rachel's on the feed, so I'm pretty sure she can give a scientific answer.
She's not.
If you can't get hold of hand soap, should you use cyanide?
I'm going to go with no, and I know Rachel will 100% back me up on that.
I'm hearing maybe.
Listen to this.
I'm hearing maybe. What other facetious things can people come up with?
The thing is, like, from a purely hobby point of view, you can get out, go and, as long as you're avoiding people, which I like to do anyway, you can go out and shoot all the live long day.
Someone said use a zoom lens more.
Yeah, exactly.
Zoom lens, exactly. Don't do wide angle close up portraits. We need 300mm at least. Scanning backlog, brilliant idea.
Get out and enjoy
self-isolation, lots of home developing, absolutely. Rachel says shut up, Paul. Which I assume she hasn't finished typing. Cyanide's a great idea. Okay, so
next
good.
Question.
Right then, we are going to move on. We are going to move on to. All right, you ready? Graeme hasn't seen any of these, so it should be quite fun. Can you, Graeme? Why can you not pull your finger out and finish a whole roll of film in one go?
Listen, there's a lot of pictures on one roll of film. I mean, on these rolls of film, are these 24 because. It's very kind of Kodak, but not that kind. Also, it's Colour Plus, which is lovely, but it ain't Portrait. So let's thank them. But
I think Charlie's watching, by the way. So
hi, Charlie.
The official message of
branding. Yeah, you know, good film is like a good wine, and you don't just want to guzzle it all down. You want to enjoy it, make every shot a memorable moment. Apart from the last 10, which obviously you just trash through quickly because you want to finish the roll, so that's why.
So on average, so you load a roll of film. How many photos do you shoot before you put that film down?
I mean, listen, that's a very broad question. I say on average probably 4 to 5.
Okay.
Before the camera gets put down for some period of time, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it's the problem of having like.
So you joked about 24 exposures. You really want a 4 exposure film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rolling your own film is a great thing because you can just roll like 12 exposure rolls or something like that. When I was doing some test shooting the other day and I just rolled some 12 exposure rolls, I finished those rolls. So it's a relative term.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
I can finish a roll very quickly if it's a very short roll.
Let's move on. What is your child's proudest accomplishment?
Not me or you.
Well, you go first and then I can cover. It's not really analog, but, well, I mean, it could be.
My child's proudest.
You have to choose a child as well, which is quite tough.
First, if I had to judge which is my favourite child, and to be honest, neither of them are great. I hope they're not.
do they shoot film? They're teenagers now, right?
My oldest is, yeah. I've given them a camera to shoot, but they remain remarkably disinterested. Yeah, I think distancing themselves from me as much as possible. I think going, oh yeah, you're an idiot, we don't want to be like you, I think is their proudest achievement. Although my youngest did catch a really sweet Pokemon yesterday, so there's that.
That's fantastic. I mean, my daughter is 16 months, so she's not got quite to grips with medium format yet, which is a shame. She gets confused on exposure triangle as well, which is a joke. I mean, I've disciplined her quite strongly.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're fully up on it.
No, I've no idea.
Both of my boys are actually they're into art. They like drawing, both of them. So I'm hoping that maybe as I get older, I might be able to get them into photography more. But at the moment, not terribly interested. And it's not just like in film; it's digital. They're just not. That's not their thing.
Perfect. Bulk loading. So this is from Shirley, who I think we've seen as well. Thank you so much. Do you bulk load?
I just said I did, Paul. Weren't you listening?
Tips.
Tips. Well, if you're going to buy a bulk roll film, it's best to buy one that you know you like and you're going to use. And as always, I like to be a counterpoint example. So, was it last year? I think it was early last year. I bought, I think, over 200 feet of tungsten balanced cine film. So far, I've shot 0 of that because I haven't. Also, and because it's cine film, it's got remjet on it. So shoot a film that you're going to want to use. There's a load of our most popular films are available in bulk rolls, so that would definitely be the first thing. Get a good bulk film loader. There's plenty of them out there. There's some good second-hand ones, but get one that you find comfortable to use. And
which one do you use?
So
or do you have a couple?
I've got a couple. I think the one that I've been using mostly is an old Watson one. It's the sort of vintagey one. It's great. It works really well. Especially works well if when you're unwinding the film on, you remember to open the film gate so you don't drag the film through, because that scratches quite a lot. That may have happened to me with the last roll I did.
Potentially.
But yeah, they're great. It is a really easy way to shoot film, and if you know there's a particular emotion you like, I think it's a really good thing to do. It's a great way to really get to know an emotion as well, and experiment with it. So yeah,
and also we joked about and in fact someone I think said it here, possibly as a response to Graeme not getting through more than 4. You can play with the length of films. Like we have 36 exposure, and then there's a few films, Colour Plus, Kentmere, on 24. We have HP5 on 24 as well. But you can also make test film rolls, which used to be a really popular thing. You'd have 12 exposures, and they'd be used to either test the camera, or in a situation where you want to have lots of flexibility. Say you don't know whether you're going to be inside, outside, move between them till you have high to low side, and you can just switch between them. You can create a 12 exposure, or even a 6, and use it to test. Because we all get a lot of cameras through our hands that are that we don't know whether they're going to work. Someone's given them to us. The fastest way is to test a roll. 35mm, I don't want to use the 36 exposures to find out that the shutter doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's always something that's helpful as well. Let's see if anything's come up here as well.
Another good point with bulk roll stuff is that there are some films that you can't get rolled, but if you go on eBay, you can pick up bits and pieces in short rolls. People who've got a bulk roll that they're slowly selling off, so you can get like short bits of stuff that you just wouldn't be able to get. I picked up some Polypan F, which you can't buy that anywhere anymore, but you can get some bulk roll. Parts of bulk roll stuff. So
yeah. And there's people there on the comments we can see talking about cinema roll. So cinema filming it quite well. There's a discussion going on about Remjet versus the ECN2 developing. So you've already said it's a bit of a pain. Are you going to just wash it off yourself and process it normally? You're going to send it off to Duncan? What is the?
No, I'll wash Remjet. It's a bit of a pain, but it's not that much of a pain. So no, I do C41 developing, and I'll just wash the Remjet off, wipe it off. So
okay. So you think not as scary as? Because I know a lot about Remjet. I haven't done it myself, but
no, it's not that bad. I think the first time I did it, I went in. Well, the first time I did it was the first time I did it, so I didn't really know quite what to expect, and I made a mess of it. Frankly, it's hard to imagine. But I made a mess of it. But actually, if you force it, and the film photography project, they've done loads of stuff on it. They've got loads of good videos. So no, it's not a thing to be scared of at all. But it is an extra step, and it does involve physically interacting with the film to be sure you've got it off. So
perfect. Okay, brilliant. Let's go on to the next one. So people are asking about tips on publishing a zine or photo book. You're laughing, which suggests you're not an expert in this, perhaps. Have you published a zine, photo book?
Oh, I hate you. No, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Okay.
So pro tip, don't come to us for pro tips. But there's some great podcasts. I can recommend one. We did a podcast. I'm going to recommend. We've done a few podcasts lately with people who.
Sorry, what podcast is that?
That's the Sunny 16. Sunny 16 podcast. We've done a few episodes lately. We did one with Ian Barnaby Nutt. He gave loads of great advice. So loads of tips on that. Also, the Author a Lens guys have been doing podcasts on zines lately. So yeah, there's loads of places you can go and get far better information. The one recommendation that came up that I remember.
No, that's perfect.
is it Mixam? I think it's Mixam. Somebody in the chat will correct me, but Mixam was a thing that Ian recommended as being a particularly good place to go to, and I've certainly seen people's zines that have come from there that are fantastic. So
I mean, as well, I know. So by the way, Duncan from Silver Pan Film Lab in the comments is describing how to remove Remjet very easily. So if anyone has any questions, that is absolutely perfect. Rachel's apologising to you for not sorting out the zine.
It's not Rachel's fault.
It's not Rachel's. It's almost. I don't even know any details, but I can always guarantee it's not
Rachel's fault.
So Duncan, Silver Pan Film Lab on comments is just talking through Remjet. Thank you so much, Duncan. So I haven't done a zine recently. It feels like I should. Not.
We're all right. You're fine. You can carry
it feels like the world deserves my art. No, that's not what I meant. It feels like if I constantly read and we talk about the print being the final way and a photograph, putting it on Instagram is great. Putting it on the website is an important thing, but to really curate a portfolio and get things down to grips.
I want to show you this, right? On the subject on printing your work stuff, this is one of these things. Which end did I open? That end. Right,
I have no idea what this is.
No, it's great. I wanted to bring this because we talked about this on the podcast on Backing Paper. Anyway, but it's one of those things that this is a visual medium. So talk about printing. This is a contact print. So this is straight from camera, basically,
And what does a contact print mean for people who?
So contact print is where you just place either the negative, in this case it's a paper negative, on paper. Oh, hang on, take the letter out there. Look at this. This is I think it's 16 by 20. So there you go. I can understand how cameras work. This is Jonathan Becker did this. He made a 16 by 20 camera. Took this picture using paper and then made a contact print to invert the negative. I think that's spectacular. Isn't that beautiful? So
that's gorgeous.
I think it's going to be. Look at the detail on that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So I thought I'd bring that with me, share it with the world.
Well, there we go. And immediately if you'd show me that on your phone or computer, it's a beautiful photo.
Yeah.
But the impact there is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that people talk about, so I recently got Karen Freer, her roller derby zine, Filling the Time. By the way, I had no idea what roller derby is. I went through the zine. I still wasn't sure. It looked like a ball game, but I couldn't see a ball in any of the things. And then I had to Google it. Turns out it's basically a contact sport. Like cycle tracks where you go around.
Yeah.
It's like that on roller blades, but you're allowed to hit people.
Sounds fun.
Which sounds brilliant. So I know there's a load of people who are doing zines who will be able to help. But people talk about then having to self-edit, curate, leave out photos that they might really like is a big moment. So I think it's a good thing to do just for yourself, even if.
It's definitely good. I mean, that's why we started doing it, and we will finish it. We definitely will. But the photography show and then the not photography show rather ate into our time. But yeah, there's lots of great resources. As I said, check out the episode with Ian, and he also did a show on it on Viewfinder Vikings on his podcast. You'll find it there. There's a lot of good advice out there, but Ian's a very good resource.
So we've had a live question come in on Facebook. Shouldn't you be holding gloves while handling that print?
Oh, okay. No. Woolly mittens.
Okay. Someone who must have joined a bit late. What biscuit were you eating earlier?
Oh, custard cream.
Custard cream.
Custard cream. I only got halfway through because it was starting to make me cough and thought people are going to be terrified. I'm going to give you some, but I'm going to finish it now.
Okay then, we're going to go with a question that is a bit deeper. Uh-oh. So from Hip Shoot Film, thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you, Ben.
And so we'll just double check whether it seems. Everyone's here. Okay, perfect. So Sam on the comments is giving some recommendations on where you can get good zines printed. So thanks so much, Sam. So Ben from Hip Shoot Film has asked, he'd like to know about both of our creative journeys into film. You're smiling already.
So the thing is, the reason I'm smiling is because you said that, this is a deeper question. And
well, I'm assuming you're going to get emotional.
And my answer is so stupid. And I have discussed this on the past. So, obviously, growing up, I interacted with cameras because I'm a human being and they were just around. And probably the most I ever did was when I went on a brief trip around Australia and those places and had a little purple point and shoot camera, which I enjoyed using, but it wasn't a thing. It was, that I was just using technique. So photography as a hobby started because I was playing the video game Gran Turismo on the PlayStation 3, out now and also out many, many years ago. And
out now, breaking news. Out now. I think it was released this morning.
And I started messing around with the photography mode in this and going on, I'm trying to take a nice picture of this car. And I thought, this might be quite a fun thing to try with an actual camera. And that was it, basically.
So hang on. There's a few things to unpick here. So your journey into analog photography started in a digital video game.
Yeah. So this.
No. And also, of all the things you can do in Grand Theft Auto, you thought the most fun thing to replicate would be taking photographs. I'm both surprised and relieved. I don't think many people are like, what is your favourite video game? Oh, Grand Theft Auto. Oh, yeah, I love that. What was your favourite part?
Gran Turismo.
Oh, beg your pardon. Okay, no, I take that back. Okay, then in which case, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
What was your favourite part? The cars? No, mate, the screenshot.
I wasn't very good at the driving bit. And so anyway, so I suppose what mucking around with the picture edit on that is it started teaching me about the idea of depth of field and framing. It started making me think about, actually, how do I want this to look, which I'd never thought about before. So then I started playing around with the just cheap digital bridge camera. I joined a forum, the Pixelated Photographer Forum, which a friend of mine, Chris Gillock, had started, who I knew from video games, and met a lovely, small, because it was a forum, crowd of people on there who really got me into it. That's where I met Abe, my co-host, and as things tend to with me, just really grew very quickly. And then a year later, it was January. January was a very quiet time for me, so if ever I'm going to have a good idea, it's going to be in January. And by good, I mean any idea. And I couldn't afford to buy much in the way of photographic gear. My first proper digital camera was a Canon 30D, which was pretty old at that time, and I couldn't afford to get any good lenses for it. But I thought, well, I'm going to buy a film camera because they were cheap. So I bought a Fujica ST605 for 10 quid on eBay, a roll of HP5, shot it, sent it off, and was amazed that it worked.
And was that first photos you took of cars?
Oh no, I've no interest in cars at all. I'm not.
I was desperately trying to loop it back in.
No,
and make this story have any coherence.
No,
but it doesn't.
I'm offended that you even asked.
Okay. So, do you remember what those photos were?
Mostly just stuff around the gardens I was working at the time. Yeah, most of that. Some pictures of family. But yeah, I think I was just blown away by the fact that it worked. This camera had no light meter, so quite appropriately, I was using the Sunny 16 rule. I was just going out there and guessing, and
on brand.
Yeah, and it worked, and I really liked the way it looked, and that combination of enjoyment of the process and accessibility at the time of the equipment for not too much money. I think it wasn't long after that I picked up an Electro 35 rangefinder camera and had the same experience. I was out with it. I didn't have a battery, so it was locked to 1/500th of a second, and I was just going, well, I reckon about that aperture will be fine, and took some pictures which I've still got on my mantelpiece now. And that was it really. Then it was just whoosh downhill very fast from there. What about you, Paul? I'm guessing similar. What video game inspired you?
It was Pac-Man, I think, at the time. That had, I thought I had a camera feature. No, it wasn't. It wasn't quite that. I'm just seeing how. There we go. No, so for me, so when I was in my teenage years, I enjoyed Polaroid, enjoyed taking photos, and then I got a DSLR. When was it? It must have been early 20s, and learned quite a few of the basics of that. And from there, it really progressed. And then I got my father-in-law's Olympus OM1 on film, which then was a fantastic thing to be able to play with. I took it on honeymoon along with the DSLR, and when I came back I found that I'd enjoyed shooting with the OM1 a lot more. I enjoyed the photos that came back a lot more, and it's pretty much the last time I used a DSLR. I mean, it was my father-in-law's. He had sadly passed away, so there was an emotional connection obviously with that camera. That camera took photos of my wife as a baby, now takes photos of our daughter as a baby. It's a fantastic machine to use. It's much more tangible. Feels much more meaningful. So there is definitely a part of the emotional side, and also that enjoyment of something that is mechanical. But I'm very glad that I learned the basics on a DSLR, because I think it would have taken me much longer and cost a lot more to get the hang of some of those settings and some of those experiences. You know, the first time you play around with long exposure, the first time you play around with really trying to blur the background, it is helpful to do that on digital.
Yeah.
And then when you have that basics, to move to analog and shoot there, I think it's fantastic. And then of course, when you have one camera, soon someone buys you another, soon someone finds one and donates it to you, and now it's exploded, and now it's a case of almost cutting back down.
Yeah. I'm actually going to give a shout out. Like, one of the things that I think really helped get me into photography and the creative side of it was a book. And people are always asking for book recommendations. And I know this one comes up a lot. And it's Creative Exposures by, I think it's Brian Peterson, but I could be completely wrong. That book was fantastic at just kind of very simply and very clearly showing what could be done, how you could explore taking more control of the camera and what that could do. And I think that really went a long way to kick-starting everything in a big fashion for me.
So there we go. Feel free to drop in the comments your own first journeys in.
What video games inspired you?
Exactly. I'm sure that's the typical.
What video game character inspired Paul's wardrobe and hair choice
today?
Yeah.
Well, my if you're stroking this, which suggests.
I mean, don't stroke it too hard. It'll
Oh yeah, sorry. What was it on Twitter? It was either you or Hamish said I have the face of a 13-year-old and the beard of a 12-year-old, which I hope goes on my gravestone now. It's definitely on my LinkedIn profile. I'm not going to answer the wardrobe thing. I think that's one that the community can answer. Okay, so that's a few of the questions. I think what we'll try and do now, I've seen Hamish answering a couple of questions. So we are going to try and dial him in. What probability do we have of this working?
Oh, I have no faith in you. Carry on.
Thank you. That's just the kind.
I'm here for moral support.
That's just the kind that we need, actually. So if I'm going to go to... So, Graeme, would you like to tell a story while we do this?
Okay, well, instead of telling a story, I'm going to show one of the two things. I've got a couple of cool things with you today. First off, because I've been going on about this all weekend, can people still see this? Because I don't know, because I can't see me, and therefore...
yes.
Okay. Snapshot camera, the new walkabout 4x5 camera or 5x4 camera. It works with both kinds of film from Steve Lloyd at Chroma Cameras. Steve sent this to me because the original idea was that I was going to bring it up to the pre-organised photo walk.
Sorry, one sec. Hamish, can you text me your Skype username or email? Because I don't have it, so...
This is the level of organisation.
One barrier already, sorry.
So he sent this up for me to have a go at to bring up to the photo walk. Didn't happen, so I thought, well, I'm going to make the most of it. And I've been out shooting with it yesterday, and I'm going to use it a bit later as well. It's a really nice camera to use. At the moment, it's got the Steve's 90mm lens on the front here, and you focus it using the helicoid. It's really robust.
So we had a few questions actually, and while I pretend that I'm better friends with Hamish by getting his contact details live. People had pinged us before saying, can you talk through 4x5? Because I think there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of... What's the right word?
Very cool.
It's the cool, convenient thing to do. No, there's a lot of great innovation. There's some beautiful cameras. Chroma camera, we're going to be at Analogue Spotlight. Intrepid was going to be at Analogue Spotlight. There's a lot of things that are being created for the 4x5 community. A lot of people coming in. We did dry plates. Obviously, Jason Lane's dry plates came in.
One careful owner.
Perfect, thanks Hamish, we'll do that in a sec. So while I hopefully dial in Hamish, can you just give a bit of a rundown? So if someone, let's assume someone has shot 35mm medium format, they're used to a self-contained camera or interchangeable lens, 4x5, where do you start, what are the basics?
4x5, I was really, I talk about my journey into film, basically every step of the way with this, I've kind of gone, okay, I'm going to try film, I'm going to shoot 35mm, but I'm never going to shoot medium format because that's just more expensive and more complicated. And then you try and go, well, no, it isn't. I'm going to shoot film, but I'm never going to develop it because that just looks like way more hassle. Then you try it and it's not. It's exactly the same with 4x5. In fact, in many ways, a lot of the things about 4x5 are easier and certainly suit me better than roll film. With some wag already mentioned the fact that I'm not great at finishing a roll of film. One shot at a time. I can finish one shot at a time. That is within my grasp to do that. So what do you need to think about when you're buying a camera? The thing for me, my first 4x5 camera was the legendary Ronald, which I picked up for £175, which incidentally is the same price as this is this weekend because Steve's doing a deal on them. Buy it now. Don't buy this one because he hasn't got it at the moment.
I'm also getting feedback saying I keep changing the subject away from your sales pitch.
Yeah, please.
Steve.
Yeah, to your sales pitch.
So you got commission for this. So sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I believe I've given Steve far more money than he's ever going to give me. So I got Ronald, and that was great because that was a camera with a lens and everything there to get started. The only downside was Ronald weighs a metric ton, and the lens was kind of trash already. And because it was a really old monorail camera, it barely got used. So more recently, I bought. I'm going to put that down there. Last year, I bought my Intrepid camera. It's showing here a very lovely angle. Because I wanted something that I would use more. It's far lighter weight and offers most of the flexibility that Ronald does. It was a good, cheap way to get into the hobby, and I've used it far more than I used Ronald because of that. The thing that I found most difficult was the lens, buying a lens, because I didn't know what to get, but actually there's a lot of good advice on that out there. And I only paid, I think, about £100 for a pretty decent lens, so it's not too bad, all things considered. Loading film holders is easy. Got a bit of Skype music going on. Nice, a background. Basically, it's not a thing to be afraid of. Developing the film is easy. You just need to get the right bit of kit to do it, and there's a few options with that. It's not a thing to be afraid of, and I think it's fantastic that there are a lot of paths to entry with it now, whether you want to go with a field camera or something that is more out and about like this, that you can get in and you can try it, and it doesn't have to be ridiculously expensive, and you can see if it's for you. And these are good, well-made, polished cameras. What are you doing with that now? Is Hamish here? Hamish, are you there?
I don't know.
Okay, we can hear you. So first of all, can somebody
call Hamish a rude name so we can confirm whether or not you can hear him? It's Hamish McGill, noted Scottish entrepreneur. Hamish, I think I've worked out why people think you're Scottish. It's because your face looks a bit like a sporran.
Until we can get the video working, that's just abuse rather than something that people can verify.
Yeah. Well, this is a wonderful
thing. So Skype seems to work. You can see the Skype symbol. Can you hear Hamish? Okay. So Hamish can hear Hamish. We can hear him, but softly. Hamish is there. Brilliant. Can you turn up anything? Yeah.
I can't believe in an already technically complex operation you threw Hamish into the mix. That's like dropping a large spanner into any mechanical...
Well, it just seemed to be going too well. We can just about.
So I'm going to try and shoot this later.
So by the way, while Hamish tries to turn up his volume as loud as he can anybody see me? We can't see. They can see a Skype logo. I think that's our tech thing that I don't know how to fix. Hang on, can I? What's this? Sorry, team. This is the. It'll be your end, surely. You'd say that. You'd say that.
You'd think we'd have ironed these kinks out before, wouldn't you?
You'd like to think so. Well, that's sort of... Has that got rid of Hamish? He's there. Right, hold the phone. Sound effects. Can anyone hear applause? Because that's just to try and... This is like every remote meeting.
Can anyone smell burnt toast?
Hang on.
Can anyone taste pennies?
Yeah.
I think Hamish is behind us by the looks of it.
He's there.
Ah!
He's there, but we can't see. Just shout louder, Hamish. They'll hear you down the road. How about you Skype to your phone and pop him on your shoulder? And I'm sorry for everyone who is getting flashbacks to corporate meetings right now. I haven't been in the corporate world for 6 months. This makes me feel right at home. Let's...
Well, I can... Yeah.
Okay, while... Is everyone's future for the next 3 months? Sounds like we can hear him from your end, not ours. Ah! Hamish, can you talk?
I can talk.
So, does people hear better this way? If this doesn't work, we'll just have to can it and carry on. The reason that we're trying to get Hamish involved is obviously he has been the main man with this whole Analogue Spotlight occasion, and he's at home with young children, so it's sort of helpful for both. Hamish, we're going to assume that people can hear you because I'm holding the mic literally to our speakers, which seems like the most ridiculous thing ever. Is there anything you would like to say with regards to the week that you've had?
It's been a fucking shit show.
Just to be clear, we're live. I can't bleep anything. Okay, people can't hear. We might have to cancel this, Hamish. I'm so sorry. You've come in. You've given some abuse. You've meant that I can't mark this as fit for family, and then that's the end of it. Thanks.
This was all deliberate, Hamish. I hope you realise this joke is very much for your expense.
Thank you so much for everyone. We love you very much. Hang up. Okay. Well, that went well. So sorry about that, guys. An experiment. Yes. This is great content, guys. Well done.
Hey, I can pick up sarcasm even through the internet.
So I'm hoping that while we did that, Oh, that was better. Too late. Too late. We move on. The world moves on. So I might try and work that out while we set up the next part and get Hamish back in, because that felt like it was getting close. Yes. So sorry about that. So while that was happening, so the large format. I think we have Steve Cromer on the chat as well, or Twitter. We're not going to Skype him, but I'm hoping that he's picking up any of the other questions. Was there anything that you wanted to finish off with, or did you pretty much close that out?
I mean, no. Basically, the only thing I would say is that don't be afraid of it. Use it as a benchmark. Me, I am not the brightest button. I am not very technically competent with anything, and yet I am able to enjoy and get results I'm happy with from large format. It is easier than you think. Every step is easier than you think. I would say that developing the film, if you've got the right kit, is probably just it is easier than roll film, because you can't go far wrong with loading it. And there's a few different ways of doing that. There's a few different methods, but they're all pretty easy. Loading film holders is easy. There's not really any big stumbling blocks, and the fact that you can pick up a selection of kit. Now, I said you've got the Intrepid, you've got the Cameradactyl stuff, you've got the Chroma camera stuff. There's loads of great choices out there that you can dip into without having to break the bank, and give it a try. And like I said, whatever kind of flavour takes your fancy.
Are you going to use large format in the shoot?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's not a good idea.
No, it's terrible. It's a terrible idea from start to finish. So we haven't selected the cameras or the films to use on the shoot yet. We're hoping you guys will help.
Do you know part of the reason why I'm shooting large format?
You brought in other cameras?
One, that. Also means you're going to have to crack open a pack of large format film that I will then pinch at the end.
Okay. Which we need to go and get. So that's a separate problem. Okay, great. So Emily had asked a question. Okay, so I think Richard Davis has jumped in as well to help. Very quickly, in case there's anything to add, people often get confused with the lens board lens situation. So you buy the camera, a lens board, and a lens. That's right?
Yeah. All of the so most of the new generation of cameras. So things like the Chroma, the field cameras, the Intrepid and the Chroma field cameras, they all use the same Linhof size lens boards, and then you get them with the correct aperture for the lens that you've got. So that's really easy. That's just a case of measuring that. It's all very standard. The information is all out there. The things like the Cameradactyl OG and the Chroma snapshot, again, you just provide the copal number, that the copal number refers to the diameter of the thing, and then you get that to fit in. So that's really easy. It was far simpler than I thought it was going to be, and I have to say buying a lens was the bit which deterred me for quite a while, but it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard, and there's a lot of good voice and choices out there.
Well, this is it, and what I can see already is I can see people jumping into Richard Davies. I think shoots large formats, and in fact I think he's also bought into the dry plates that Jason Lane brought over, so one step more complicated. Obviously Graeme shot it, Steve Cromer is there, Maxim Intrepid are all experts at varying degrees on this thing, so there are people who will be able to help. I can see Sherry Zakasking actually saying that she's hoping to do a project on it, so lots of people can do it. And Sam's asking which film do you use?
Last year I was mostly using FOMA, because I'm still learning and practicing, so FOMA Pan was just the cheapest way for me to experiment. And I can't. How much is a pack of FOMA?
Oh, you're testing me now, but it's not much per roll because we have the 50 pack of the FOMA 200. The other end of the scale is Ectochrome, which is close on a tenner a shot.
Yeah, but no, FOMA is a good cheap way of practicing. I wonder whether part of the reason large format is intimidating is because most of the stuff you see people shooting large format, they are people like Richard who are out there making amazing work and have been doing it for a long time and producing beautiful work, and you get intimidated by it, and that's what I'm here to say. No, idiots can use it too and still have fun.
You should have a t-shirt with that on.
Maybe I should. I should have got that one.
Exactly. Okay then, it's 10-2. What we are going to do now is we are going to do the quiz show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to let you sort out how the technical side of this works. I'm going to put on my game show jacket. Hey Rob!
So
you're going to come down and do the game show.
As part of the Analogue Spotlight, one of the things that people were most excited about was that Sunny 16 were going to do a live show. It was going to be an auditorium, 100 seats. There was
50 seats.
150 seats.
Sold out. There was
150 seats. They had several elements of that planned. One thing that they'd worked on quite hard on. Who was it who had been helping you?
Matthew Joseph. Matthew Joseph has done tons of work on this, which is why I didn't want to let it go to waste.
No, that's fine. Matthew Joseph has done a huge amount to help create the game show. The remnant of all that work is Graeme in a velvet jacket, which you will see in a minute.
Is there somewhere I can put this? Because Matthew will yell at me if I don't Instagram live some of this.
Rob might be able to help in a sec.
Okay.
So while we set this up, so what's going to happen is I think Graeme's going to be the quizmaster. Here is the velvet jacket.
It's not mine, so it doesn't fit very well, but I couldn't,
Who lent you a velvet jacket?
One of my friends got married in this. I don't know whether she's still with my friends. The funny thing was...
so that's somebody's wedding suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I said to him...
No further questions.
Have you got a red... I said, I got a Naruto jacket. What? Like, thinking of the anime character, Naruto. No, it turns out that wasn't what that is. It's... not an interesting story. Carry on.
So, not a great anecdote. So what we've got is Graeme's going to be the show host. Myself and Rob are going to be the participants. Intrepid have just joined us. Intrepid, if you've missed the last 10 minutes, there's been a lot of large format chat. So please, if people still have follow-up questions, I don't know whether it's Max or one of his team, but people are there. So myself and Rob are going to be answering some of the questions. There is a technical element which should fill you with terror because of the experience we've just gone through. And myself and Rob are going to be the live contestants. And what we're going to do is we are going to include Colour Plus as part of it. So Graeme will randomly allocate a question as a Colour Plus question, which means that play along with all of the questions. But if it's a Colour Plus question and you get it right, the first person to get it right, as judged afterwards, I'm assuming, because we won't be able to do it live, we'll get a brick of Colour Plus. So basically, answer the questions as we go through. You'll be surprised to hear we haven't practiced the technical part. And apparently it involves playing videos live through this. So
Not videos.
Not videos?
No.
Oh, it's
videos,
fine.
no,
It's fine.
It's fine. It'll be fine. Although I want to jack up the volume coming out of that because there's some music and the music's very important. Okay.
So if everyone gets a pen and paper, will they need a pen and paper? No? No?
What do I want a pen and paper for? If you want to write a letter of complaint.
or to Ofcom. Okay, Rob is coming on. Okay. So first of all, a big hand.
Big hands.
Big hands to Rob Percy. So Rob Percy Photography, a fantastic photographer. This is his studio. It is available for rent at very reasonable prices. I can say that, so Rob doesn't have to.
Thank you.
He has stepped in unbelievably well to provide this. And seriously, no jokes, the setup is incredible. And there is sync with hot and cold water for deving and stuff later. And props for portraits, which may or may not be relevant. So what we're going to do, Rob, is apparently we're going to be in a game show hosted by Graeme. We are going to now, fingers crossed, go to the presentation. Wait for it. Okay.
Lovely.
Can you go into
Good.
present
Okay.
mode?
Can we go into present mode? Can we?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You
Can we?
didn't-
We didn't practice.
Go back. Go back. Go back.
Wait,
I see you.
wait,
You're already,
wait,
Go
wait.
back. Wait. Go to where it says wait.
Wait for
it.
it.
Wait for it.
Is everyone ready?
Can everyone see it?
Can everyone see this bit? Hopefully. Is it present mode?
Yeah. Going to present.
Okay.
Okay. Right. How do I click to the next?
You don't have permission to play things. That's not going to be a problem, is it? Request access. Oh, that's going to be an issue.
Boy, is it good that we didn't try this before.
Okay, you know what? We're going to close that down. Are there questions you can just ask?
Yeah, we can skip. Is that the only one that's
Yeah.
going to cause a problem?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So
well,
if you could come into view, which I think is about
how
here,
do I skip to the next step?
so you just press that bit.
that bit.
That bit, yes.
Click
So this is a trackpad,
This is a Mac, and I don't know
and that
what.
says next. And that's
Okay.
it. So is everyone ready for the quiz?
Okay.
Okay. Never mind the Bronicas.
Okay. I mean, there's supposed to be music. Is he not playing the music?
No.
This is very sad. Well, imagine there's some great jazzy music.
Okay.
Okay, great. With your host. Hey, listen, personal branding. Can everyone see it all right?
So we can said, Emily says, we can see your presentation. Andrew Barton says, what's going on? I wish we knew.
Okay. Round one. Look at this film. So, Filmly Fortunes, our two contestants, our good friend Matthew, who manages our Instagram feed for us, over the last week, he has been asking thousands of people for their input on certain things. So, what I'm going to be doing for you guys is asking you what you think the most popular choices were, and we're going to see how well you do in this. So, okay.
Yes.
Question number
Just
one.
going to check. Is everyone... Okay, we think it's working. Okay, go on.
Listen, you get what you get.
Yeah, exactly.
And you might go. So, question number one.
Do we buzz in? What do we do?
No, not with this one. Don't worry, I've got buzzers for you later.
So we take turns to answer.
I'll ask both of you because there's multiple. So, and also the audience can tell. So, we asked people what they thought was the best camera. So, let's see how you guys do this. So, what do you guys think was the best? I'm going to give you one choice and we'll see how well in the rankings you did.
Okay.
And whoever gets closest to the top wins.
And just for background, Rob hasn't shot film since...
2003.
That's all right. Nobody's made new ones since then. So
This
you're fine.
is true.
So, okay, good. All right, do you want to go first or second? I don't know what's the advantage. All right, you go.
Okay, so my limited, I was thinking with a Mamiya RZ67.
And Mamiya RZ67. Okay, nice choice.
I'm going to go with an Olympus OM1.
An Olympus OM1. Okay, let's see. So,
A lot of people learnt on them, didn't they?
okay, so let's see how we're doing. So, okay. Okay, so these are the ones that came in third place. So we've got the Hasselblad 500cm, Holga, both basically potato, Leica M2, Leica M4, Mamiya 7, Nikon FM2, Olympus OM1. So Paul, you get 1 point because that was in it.
Came in third, all right?
Yeah. Somebody in the chat keep track of scores because I'm not going to do that. The Rolleiflex and the Canon F1, they were all joint third place.
Make sure you come in, that's so people can see.
Oh, I didn't know we were still. I just assumed people could only see the thing. Okay.
Hopefully you can only see that.
Yeah. In second place, the most popular cameras in second place, again this was a tie, was the Leica M3, the Nikon F, F2 and F3, which is and the number one most. It's incidentally Rob. Sorry.
Yeah, I was Rob, wasn't I?
The number one most popular cameras is a tie for first place goes to the Leica M6 and the Hasselblad X-Pan.
Wow.
So, although the fact that the X-Pan is on there makes me think that Matthew Joseph juiced those numbers.
How many people have shot with those?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the hard thing when someone says what's the best camera, it's sort of the best one that you've used, right?
So as I said, you can tell Matthew very much did this slideshow for us. Okay. Right, next one. Oh, incidentally, and again, special bonus question.
Is this a Colour Plus question?
No, this isn't. No, we'll do the Colour Plus questions later.
Okay.
Bonus thing. Somebody commented, had the response that best is a fallacy in response to the question Matthew put out. Which notable member of the community do you think had the response that, well, best is a fallacy in this context?
I'll pass to Rob first.
As I have no idea of anybody in the community.
There's two people here.
Okay.
So who's more likely to say me or Graham?
No, it wasn't somebody here.
All right.
But it was somebody who might have been involved, attempted abortively involved.
I'm not going to go with Hamish.
Oh! Hamish! He's done it!
The only other name I've heard today that I know.
It's a point eight! Oh my gosh. Okay. Next question. We asked, who was the greatest analog photographer of all time? There you go. So you've got as much chance as this. Paul?
Ansel Adams.
Ansel Adams. Rob?
Oh. Okay, I was going to go with Ansel Adams as well. That's really thrown me now. Thank you so much.
No worries.
David Bailey.
David Bailey. Okay, let's see how it goes. So, in third position, we have Vivian Maier.
Yes.
Wonderful Vivian Maier. In second place, it's
Ansel
Adams. There you go. 2 points for each of you. So, who came first? So, come on. Who do you think came first? Was it David Bailey? It is, yeah, there you go. It's your man, Cartier-Bresson.
Street photography.
And again,
can we talk about that?
Street
photography? No.
And Matthew wanted to get a special thank you to the person who responded, you. Meaning Matthew, clearly. Okay. The next question. This question was specifically designed for Aid, who will probably never see this, but Aid loves camera bags. It's kind of a fetish for him. And for the last 4 years, he's been saying, we really need to have a camera bag show. This is the closest we are ever going to get, so bask in it, everyone. So, I mean, what's the best camera bag?
What's the best camera bag?
What do you think people chose the best camera bag?
Rob's gone with
what I'm using.
What's your
what brand is the one you've got?
It's a Calumet roller case.
What?
Calumet rolling case.
Calumet rolling case, okay.
In the analog world, people go for looks and aesthetic over practical use. Yeah, but I don't really have a camera bag. I don't know camera bags at all. I know that 30 come out every minute on Kickstarter.
I need an answer from you.
Crumpler something. Crumpler's a brand.
Okay, Crumpler's a brand. Okay. In third place, we've got the Think Tank Carter and Oni bags, or Oni bags, or whatever they are. No, I've heard of some of those. In second place, we've got Donk. Are they good bags, Rob? You look at it.
No, I use their lens wraps.
Oh, there you go. And in first place, it's Billingham bags.
I've never heard of Billingham.
Never?
No,
I've got Billingham bags that came through with a camera I bought once. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Question number 4.
Okay. Oh, someone said Billingham. Yeah, there we go.
Well, there you go. You are a winner in the general sense, not in the specific sense.
Yeah. So these are not Colour Plus questions yet?
No, these are not. These are nonsense questions. The Colour Plus will come later. Question number 4. Which camera do you think people thought was the ugliest camera ever made? Good luck, everyone.
Leica M6.
Okay, what goes with Leica M6? Rob?
OM10.
OM10.
Oh, this is sacrilege.
Shots fired. Okay. Listen, we've got some nice looking cameras coming up here. So, in third place, we've got the Konica Eyeball.
That is terrible.
Beautiful by name, beautiful by nature.
That is terrible.
The Argus Brick and Instax 210. I mean,
the Instax wide is terrible.
Listen,
it's like they forgot the viewfinder, and then they're like, "Oh crap, the viewfinder. Where can we put it? Don't worry about it. Just put it on."
In second place, I think this might be a bit controversial, although not as controversial as the OM10. Is the Canon T80. I mean, all right, you're right.
It's very square.
It's got a face only a mother could love. And coming in,
made of solid plastic.
Coming back to us from the future in number 1, it is the Yashica Samurai. Ha!
That's a stills camera.
that is. I mean, I would have accepted if you said that's a camera. But yes, the Yashica.
I was thinking more golf rangefinder.
Yeah. Weirdly beautiful, which is what it says on my Tinder profile. Okay. Next question. This is a very important analog question. We asked people what was the most popular biscuit / cake, because there's some in the film community. What's your answer? Don't be distracted by the fact that I'm eating custard cream, because that's not relevant.
I'm going to go. Well, Rob has a jar that's Jaffa cakes.
Jaffa cakes. You going to go Jaffa cakes?
Yes.
Okay, both go with Jaffa cakes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how that's gone for you. So, number 3, we've got the custard cream. And I probably shouldn't have done that. And Tim Tams. Now, obviously, I love a custard cream. There's going to be fights in the.
Is that a penguin?
It's a bit like a penguin, but that's an Australian biscuit, the Tim Tam, and it's delicious. And if you've never had the chance to do the Tim Tam Slam, I highly recommend
By
it.
the way, just worth pointing out, there's been more people jumping in to answer this question than any so far.
Listen, we asked the big questions of Sonic 16. Okay, number 2.
Come on, Jeff.
It's a classic. It's digestives.
Not even chocolate digestives.
Not even chocolate. Listen,
Cardboard circle.
simple people of simple means. And number 1, no surprise to me, it's a hobnob!
Hobnobs, the Jaffa cake didn't even make it in. You threw us off with the biscuit / cakes.
So many studios I know run on Jaffa cakes.
Well, clearly.
Special mention for...
Do you want me to...
Yeah, do you tap the thing? I can't be trusted. Limp Bizkit.
Brilliant.
Too long in the tea then.
Yeah. So, thank you so much to everybody who took part with that on Instagram and helped us get all those important facts. We are now going to move on to the general knowledge round. I'm going to put my biscuit down again, to give you both a chance to buzz in first. I've got implements for you. You might want to back off the mic slightly with this. So,
Okay. Is there a way we can do our video in the video? Oh, I really don't want to touch it.
So, I'm going to give you that, Paul.
Okay.
I can stay away from the mic.
Right, I'm gonna do, this is my buzzing.
I think it reflects your state. And look, for you,
Thank you.
you get a very classy bell. So can you just ding your bell for us, please? Very good. Okay, so so this is called the quick snap round. Easy. Okay. Try that thing. Okay. So I will. How many of these? Was it 4 packs of film we've got to give away?
We've got 3 more we'll give away.
3 more to give away. So I will pick certain questions, but not this first one. Okay. Round. Oh, there's the graphics. Quick snap. Right. Question number 1. Who, before going on to create a revolutionary new kind of camera, first invented doggles, or goggles for dogs, if you will?
What?
I'm going to watch, see if anybody gets this. Come on.
So who in the community?
Not in the community, no.
So someone in general?
Somebody who invented. They went on to invent a revolutionary camera, but first.
Polaroid chap, Land.
Yes, well done. Did anybody get there first? That's it. Okay. Okay. We might need to. Right, Paul.
Yeah.
Get that taken off you.
Do you want to share the bell? Share the bell. Here you go.
So you're just gonna have to make some noise when you know.
Okay.
Because that's apparently. Oh, and I've lost my pictures.
Also, by the way, we've got people unsubscribing because of Jaffa Cakes not being included.
That's fair. Hey, listen. Everyone needs to take a stance at this difficult time. Jaffa Cakes. People could have voted for Jaffa Cakes. Jaffa Cakes. Nobody loves them apparently. Yeah. So Edwin Land, who went on to invent Polaroid cameras, first used the technology, amongst many other things, to make anti-glare goggles for dogs for the military. Actually, look.
It feels like there's a lot of follow-ups to that question as well.
That picture is not of a dog wearing anti-glare goggles, but I liked it because it reminded me a bit of me a bit. I thought if I was a dog, that's what I would look like. Also, that's not Edwin Land. I feel I should point that out. Okay.
This is very clear.
Okay, next question. What sort of camera does Paul Simon have in the 1973 song Kodachrome? Come on, guys. Boo-doo-doo-boo-doo.
Oh, someone even did the Kodachrome thing, is the hand washing where you can put song lyrics there. Someone sent it to me. Kodachrome with it.
Pick a brand.
That was terrible. Brownie?
Brownie? No, not brownie. Not brownie.
In my head, all I have now is I've got an iPhone camera, which can't be right. I've got an iPhone camera. I'd love to take your phone. No. What rhymes with iPhone? Nikon.
Nikon! Well done! Well done, Paul.
Wow.
So far it's 2. 2 points. Okay.
Yes, people are a lot better at that than me.
I didn't even know it was a thing. Okay, right. Paul, you should have an unfair advantage in this. But it was a thing I didn't know until I looked it up. So, next question. Oh, no, that's the answer. Next question. What does the HP in HP 5 Plus stand for? You know this, right? You don't know this? Paul Mackay, owner and proprietor of Analogue Wonderland, the largest seller of film in the UK, perhaps. Any ideas? I'm going to look to see if anybody in the audience has got this.
Highly sensitive panchromatic.
It's close, but it's not
Panchromatic in there?
Yes.
Panchromatic.
Shot it and never bothered to read the box.
To be fair, I don't think it says on the box.
Does anyone know? Nope, no idea.
Again, alluding to our good, nearly on the show friend Hamish Gill, it's hypersensitive panchromatic.
Is it? There we go.
The more you know.
No, I thought you were going to say Hamish.
It's Hamish panchromatic. Did anybody get that? Oh, look, Hamish did. See, Hewlett Packard, 5 pixels. No, some cases better than Hewlett yeah, there we go. Hypersensitive panchromatic. Okay. Now, this next one, you definitely have an unfair advantage on. But you know what? So we're 4 questions. Should we make this one of the
Colour Plus
ones? So listen, Paul. Instead of you answering this, I want you to go in there and watch the answer. And I'm going to ask Rob this because you haven't got a catch chance in hell. It's going to be a guess for you.
Oh, yeah.
So the next question is.
So to be clear, the first person who writes correctly.
Yeah. So there you go. So which of the following is not a brand of special effect film? Is it Jelly, Volvox, Rasp, Vulpix, or Stereo? So yes, 4 of those are brands of film.
Really? Yeah, not a clue. Absolutely blind
They've
bag.
all come out in the last probably 3 years, I'd say, 3 or 4. I think Revlog's a bit older.
Okay, so
So go on, we got anybody?
I'm going to guess a Rasp.
Rasp, good guess. What are the people in the chat saying?
We're not doing that. They're still stuck on the HP.
Okay.
Sam says it means the same as is on HP Source.
Yeah.
And Shirley is first. Shirley has replied Vulpix.
Vulpix, who is of course a Pokemon. Well done, Shirley.
So Shirley, I think I have the address. If not, ping me and we'll get you a block of colour.
And I love the fact that everyone's just making different random guesses because it turns out that special effect films have names as crazy.
And a special mention for Georgia, who said, "Isn't Vulpix a Pokemon?"
Yeah.
Correct.
Well done.
All right, there we go. Well done, Shirley.
So
You're
there we
the
go.
first Colour Plus question winner.
Okay. Right. The next one's a tricky one. Okay. So there you go. A look. Oh, that's a really cute one.
So now we need a creative film for Vulpix.
Okay, next one. This is going to tax your brains. I'll be interested. So, which of these is the odd one out? Is it Fujifilm, Polaroid, Ricoh, or Samsung? And if you've got no idea, I'll give you a clue, but I'll give you a bit of time to think first.
So at first I was thinking, who doesn't make cameras, but they all... If you say Polaroid Originals, then they all do, right? Samsung makes a lot of things for other people. Is it Samsung because they make parts for everyone else?
No, but you can't. I'll give you a clue, and the clue is Kodak.
Polaroid's the odd one out because it isn't a Japanese brand.
I mean, you're right for the wrong reasons. The reason Polaroid is the odd one out is because Polaroid sued Kodak for Kodak bringing out their instant film camera, and Polaroid sued them, and the court case took a hugely long time. And in the end, they won and got a decent chunk of money from it. But by that point, a lot of damage had been caused. The other 3, Fujifilm, Ricoh, and Samsung, Kodak sued all of them for patent infringement.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good news story all around. Did anybody get it?
So we've had people guessing Ricoh because they're the only ones who didn't make film. Ricoh's the only one who hasn't made or repackaged Kodak film. Barry's guessed Samsung without a specific.
See, Matthew did say to me, we need to make this question more specific. I'm like, nah, it'll be fine, everyone will get it.
So Sam thinks Rico because everyone else has made an instant film. So Samsung or Rico tends to be the most common answer.
Okay, let's go on to the next one then. That one was a hard one. The clicky thing's done.
Okay.
Click. You click it one.
You want to go next?
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Even easier.
That's the answer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next question. We all know that Leicas are expensive cameras, but what's the most expensive Leica so far?
Is this the one they took to the moon?
No.
Oh.
Did they take a Leica to the moon?
I thought so.
Oh, Glads, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Any
Modified
ideas?
Glads. No.
No.
So is there like one that's gold encrusted or diamonds or something?
No, but you're thinking along the right lines in terms of just rarity.
Titanium.
No. But it's okay. I will break the spell for you. Has anybody got any?
No one's guessing it.
Okay. The answer is it's a Leica Zero series number 122, which was I think one of the first test experimental batches made, and that sold at auction in 2018 for £2.15 million.
Oh my god.
It doesn't even have a red button.
Yep, and let's have a look. People are questioning what we're doing here still, which is good. And then, okay. Oh, Leica M240. Someone's guessed Hamish's. Someone has, Shirley said, thinks it was Nikon that went to the moon. Okay.
Do you want to click onto the next one for me because I can't be trusted to click?
Okay. Right.
Okay. So
any more Colour Plus questions?
Okay. How many more have we got to do? Two more of those.
Two more.
Two. Okay.
How many questions more do we have?
Not many. Okay. We'll say. Okay. I won't do the next one because I think the next one might be. Okay.
So we skip through this one.
Question number. No. Keep this one on. Where can you find 12 lightly used abandoned Hasselblads?
Back on the moon?
Back on the moon! Click. I'll click through that. So they took the Hasselblads up there, used them, but then because they wanted the weight and the space for bringing the rocks back, they left the Hasselblads up there. So, I mean, they're
Hasselblad a rock. Hasselblad
just there.
Rock every time.
Just there waiting to be picked up. Okay, let's make the next one. Come on, phone, reorient yourself. Let's make the next one
a Colour Plus question.
This is a great one. Good luck, everybody. Which world leader helped keep film alive?
So keep film alive, world leader.
You have to let me know some answer. I'll let you know when you hit the right one. Who's coming up?
Okay, so what I'm immediately thinking, keep film alive. It must be an injection of cash if a business was going under.
Mm-hmm. Maybe something along those lines.
What's really helped? Or something to the movie industry. That's kept film alive for a long time. So has anyone backed it off?
Are we getting any names coming out?
No, people are still debating how to get to the moon. Matthew Mabel has said Hitler. We've had Mandela.
Nope.
Bush.
Nelson Mandela, Lenin.
Nope, getting closer.
Trudeau from Canada. Hamish has said M. Shirley said Queen. I don't know whether that's the Queen or just Queen of the band.
Hey, who wants to live forever?
Either of the Bushes.
No.
Trump.
No.
That seems unlikely. Okay, I'm going to guess...
But then with Trump and his steak business, is he not producing a lot of gelatin which they can use it for?
Maybe.
Is there not
So I'm going to give you a little clue. So the thing that was done to help happened in the mid-90s and helped a company get started that became very important through the darkest days of film and helping,
Well,
keep an eye, gotta keep an eye on what's going on.
Mid-90s.
Kim Jong, Putin.
Ah!
Putin!
Putin is the correct answer.
Who did he assassinate?
I'm looking through. Someone said Kendall Jenner. So somebody who's written Wordle Durdle, is their name, is Putin, and they said it just before Sarah Smith, who said Russian guy PM.
Russian guy PM.
Oh, Putin! Sarah's remembered Putin. So close, not. But Wordle Durdle, you have won a brick of film.
Can we click through that?
Yeah.
You click it. Okay, so the reason the reason that Putin helped keep film like this is back when, I hope I put the information on
Yes, I remember this.
So he was deputy mayor of St. Petersburg, and he organised a tax break for. So Lomography had started up, and they wanted to sell and get an exclusive license to distribute the Lomo LCA1s all around the world, except for in the former USSR. And Lomo was like, "Oh, we can't afford to. We don't do this." And then they went to and saw Putin, and Putin agreed to give them a tax break so that it could then go on. Whole thing grew from there. Obviously, Lomography grew from there, and the rest is history.
Wow.
So there you go. If it wasn't for Putin, who knows where we'd be now?
So one good thing that Putin has done. Okay.
I think it all balances out, doesn't it?
Yeah. You just need to do one good thing in life.
Okay.
Well
having a
done,
look at
people who realise that. That is amazing. Yes, Sarah is frustrated. She was close.
Close. Okay. So we've got 2 more questions to go. I'm going to decide which one. Okay, I think we'll make the last one. We'll make the last into the last.
Okay.
So the question number 9. George Eastman said the name Kodak was chosen because it was memorable and impossible to mispronounce. But which one of these other facts also influenced his choice? So let's click it through to the next. So you've got choices, multiple choice. Hang on. Wait. It's been done. So his grandfather was called Karloff Dacre Eastman. I guess he was a keen amateur naturalist, particularly interested in Kodiak bears. K was his favourite letter.
Is there not?
Or the name is a play on the word codex because he saw it, as a way of storing information in a way, people taking pictures more. So which of those 4 do you think is the true fact?
Yeah. K was his favourite letter.
Why not? Right! You're absolutely right.
What? No!
Yeah, absolutely.
The Kodiak bears. I like the idea.
It's a strong and incisive sounding letter. There you go.
Okay.
Incisive sounding
I thought that was the most ridiculous answer. That to be true.
Okay. So this is going to be
Colour Plus.
the last question. So this is the Colour Plus question. So do you want to click through to it? Everybody be ready for the last
so this
question.
is the Colour Plus question, the last Colour Plus, and time for another brick of 10 Kodak Colour Plus films.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject of names, which camera brand gets its name from a 1,000-armed goddess of mercy? I was really pleased with these questions. A 1,000-armed goddess of mercy. You have to watch the doohickeys as well, watch you. I mean, surely it's obvious.
1,000-armed goddess of mercy. So I really thought Olympus, but that's
a mountain.
That's
of gods.
I think it's a god, Greek, but I don't think it's of mercy.
I'm gonna say Yashica because you guys keep bringing it up constantly.
Yashica.
It's not Yashica, no.
Canon.
How are we doing with the answers coming in?
We've got Mamiya, Fujifilm, Minolta. Someone said Kodokan, but I think that was that. Olympus. Haley Ginger said Olympus. Bessa.
Not Bessa.
People must go on Google soon. Can we give a clue as to whether it's like a Roman god, Greek god? Canon.
We've got the right answer come up. The answer is Canon. So well done, Rob.
Sam,
you were right.
Sam
I win the
Cornwell.
Sam Cornwell.
Sam Cornwell, and
I thought
then
it
M's
was
coming straight after with Canon.
Yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna try and click through
M's
this.
claiming that he beat him, so I don't know.
Okay, so there you go. The Canon's original 35mm camera was named after, I don't know if I pronounce it, Kwannon, the Buddhist goddess of mercy, but the name got changed to Canon to make it more easily accepted when it went to international release. So there you go. The more you know. Well done, guys. Well, so
Sam, congratulations, Sam. You have got it. Let's just double check. Hillary's guessed Miranda. Shirley said Voigtlander. Instamatic. Good guess, Rach.
The god of Instamatic was an angry god.
Okay, right then.
And I just want to say a huge thank you to Matthew Joseph, who did all the donkey work for that, as opposed to me being the donkey. I'm going to take off my jacket now, it's warm here.
There we go. Well done, team. Absolutely cracking job. Thank you, Graeme. Thank you, Rob, for participating.
Thank you so much, Rob.
That was so much fun.
So, what we've got to now, we're overrunning slightly, but I still think it's worth doing. So, hope everyone's enjoying, or at least still here. What's another word for enjoying? It's slightly, less.
Tolerating.
Tolerating. I hope everyone is tolerating what we're still doing. And hang on a minute, we've got a joke. Mel has said, "I don't like her the fact I didn't win any film."
Oh, I'm off. Bye.
So Mel, that has given you. Not only has that given you the first entry into the final chance to win film with a joke, but also Graham's left. I've discussed. He came back. He finished the biscuit and he came back. Okay then. So. People want to start again. Sadly not. I think the work done there is exceptional. Now what we're going to do is we have an hour and a half. The plan is that we do a photo from start to Instagram in the next hour and a half. Yes.
We couldn't get Hamish on the live chat.
Okay, hang on a minute. We're just getting a few more jokes. This is good. So Amin's come in. I turned up to work with my new Canon, but they fired me.
I didn't sign up for this.
Let's have a look. Were there anything else? No, everything else is just abuse about your jackets and the fact that's the worst pub quiz they've ever been to, which is fantastic. So what we'd love to do is we'd love to get your input on what shoot we do. So we have large format cameras and film I can go over there. We have, I have medium format cameras with me and we can choose different films. I have an Ondu pinhole, I have other ones.
Instant? Could you do instant? That'd be really easy.
Instant would be a bit too easy. Sam said it's going to be a lot of hassle to do, which is terrible.
I'm leaving again.
Okay, and then Rob is actually the professional who knows what to do. So really we have somebody who understands lighting and photography and two people who have brought a random collection of things. Graeme is now left to eat sausage rolls. So the first thing to do, Sarah's got a good joke. What do you call a herd of photographers? A clique.
Oh God. We need to stop this. Sarah, you're banned.
What's white and can't climb trees? A fridge. Not photographers.
Fridge.
Amin's come in. No. What you call a herd of photographers is a focus group.
Oh God. This is not that. No.
Okay, so we have an hour and a half to make a photograph and get it online. People are asking, is Graeme going to be topless? That's one of the questions.
We started taking donations.
So the first thing to do is, what we'd like to do, I have no idea how we're going to get an assembly of questions. So everyone's just going to have to type and we're going to do a rough count in the next 30 seconds. So first of all, would people rather see a large format, start to finish, or medium format? Within the large format, there are a couple of cameras that you'll have seen there. Within medium, just one, with one format. Large format, medium format Ondu pinhole, or medium format Yashica. We've got colour chems, we've got black and white chems, so that shouldn't be an issue. But would people rather see large format or medium format? And if medium format, pinhole, Ondu pinhole, or Yashica. Over to you guys. We will give you 30 seconds. And then we'll do a quick check, and from there we'll go to some kind of portrait shoot. Okay. And pretty. Okay. Amin, who is on an absolute roll, can we just say, has said 35mm. No one said APS, which I am gutted about. Hamish has said stop wasting time, go large. Everyone's saying large format. Everyone is saying large format apart from a couple of people. But fortunately, yes, democracy is real and kicking. There we go. Answered. Large format. We're done. So, Graeme,
Black and white or colour?
colour is what people are saying.
Well, I'm glad I've run some hot water then.
Colour, large format. Do you have colour? We have colour cans.
Do I have colour large format? Do I look like one of the largest suppliers of film in the UK? No, I do not.
I'm not sure we have colour large format in, to be honest.
Ah.
Do you have any film with you?
I've got. I think I did bring some. Let me just see if it fits the bill. It is. So Steve sent this down. It is black and white orthochromatic film, which went out of date in 1990. So
we can't do colour. I don't think that we have. I'll have to check.
we've got that's 1990s orthochromatic film.
We can get normal 4x5.
Okay, that might be a good idea.
So people prefer colour.
Listen, I can't happily shoot colour. This skinflint doesn't want to crack a pack of
It's more the the issues of availability. That's fine. So what we're going to do now is we do not have E6. Anyone suggesting
slide film?
Slide film. People are now suggesting disc film. We shoot disc film. I still want to do a session where we have a shoot off of APS versus disc, but literally nobody else cares or wants to do
They
that.
both suck. Disc sucks.
So here we go. So what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break to get set up. The good news about this is that while we are doing this, I can see John Whitmore is in. I've seen Intrepid on there. I think Steve Lloyd is around. I know other people who shot large format. So there will be lots of people who can give us live feedback about how we are doing this wrong. The goal will be to go from... Well, we're already eating into the time that we have, so screw it. We have an hour and a half. We're already late, and then we're going to go to the toilet. But we're going to go from concept to photo on Instagram within an hour and a half is the plan. It'll be a portrait of me because I think that's all we have. Exactly. Rob's very much going to be the lighting expert. Yes, well that's what we've got. We've got to work with what we have, shall we say? We've got to work with what we have. So I'm going to keep going here until Graeme's finished a little bit, and then we'll swap over. So first of all, is any other questions that people would like us to answer or discuss? Anything you'd like to ask me while we start to set up the lighting and get the temperatures ready for deving? And also, I'm loving the fact that people are now it's got to the point where now Duncan's having to just say he doesn't do disc film developing because people have got a bit distracted and excited by disc.
Background colour choices. We have black, purple, or grey today.
Black, purple, or grey.
Well, we'll ask the community. Also, Alex Davenport's given us a great top tip. Make sure you load your film in the light so that you know you've done it correctly.
Oh, that's good advice. Thank you.
Then take it out again to make sure.
Yeah, double check.
Yeah, exactly. What are the options for backdrop?
Black, white, and grey.
Black, white, and grey. Okay.
It's like red, gold, and green, I think.
Next question.
That's the options.
You better have some feather boas for Graeme, or he'll get chilly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're also people are asking about push processing. We're probably going to do that separately at some point. I know it's been on people's minds. We did the T-Max competition with Kodak recently, but we'll have to cover that separately. I think push processing, large format, live at the same time. We're already stretching ourselves as we showed with the attempted Skype. Big question. Would people want a purple, a grey or a white backdrop for a black and white photo?
Grey's rapidly heading towards your colour.
Well, I think this is black and white and I've got a grey t-shirt on.
Oh yeah, good point. We're not doing that. Yeah. Don't worry, everyone.
I think people are just giving me jit for my terrible beard. What was your question? Was Hamish started off with something about this? Oh dear. I'm trying to see if there's any actual sensible questions, but any plans? Any plans for? So there's a question about: are we planning to stock some more loose pattern rolls? On a serious point, yes. We've started to expand the darkroom materials that we stock based on what people have asked for. we sort of got the minimum at the moment, so people can literally buy everything from Analogue Wonderland to home develop. We will need to expand because I think there's definitely things in there that people could do with. It's a bit different, so yes is the quiet answer. So the only person who has answered with more than one question is someone who said white. Interesting to see the contrast. So Hamish is really keen about a question. I'm going to scroll up. If this is just a joke question, Hamish, has you beard ever escaped? Is that a totally legitimate question? Has my beard ever escaped? What does that even mean? I don't even know. So what we're doing as we sort of begin to prep. So putting the kettle on, absolutely critical. Again, it's just turned into the beast about my facial hair. So what we're doing is Graeme, while you stop in, what are you doing now at the back?
Well, in case you do find some colour film, on the long to do, I'm currently heating up the chems because that's going to be the biggest time sink is getting the chems.
I'm going to
so
back. So you
ease off. Great, that was my mistake. So the chemicals we're going to be using is I've got some ready mixed. I think they're from a Technol C41 kit. So I've got 500 mils of those ready mixed up and good to go. But they're obviously at room temperature, so that's not great. So we're heating those up now. I've got the kettle on. The kettle's just clicked, so I'm going to go and tip that in the mix, try and get that warmed up a bit quicker. Then we need to load up some film in a dark bag, like a savage, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Whilst Paul's gone, I'm going to show you something else I brought with me today, because this turned up in the post yesterday. I've not had a chance to properly muck around with it, but you guys might be interested in seeing it. Another fun new camera. This has been the weekend of me getting new cameras to play with. This is the Kraken camera. This is from Graeme Young, who is one of the hosts of the Homemade Camera Project. And this is a 3D printed camera. So a bit like the Snapshot, it uses a helicoid on the front that you then mount your large format lens into. So this is my lens on here. The rest of the body is all 3D printed, and you just get the screws to screw it all together. This one, it shoots roll film, and it's a 6x12 format on this. That's pretty juicy neg space on the back there. So as I said, this just turned up yesterday, so I futzed around getting the lens on the front there. I'm looking forward to giving this a go, but what I need to do with it before I can actually shoot it is get it and actually figure out what those focusing distances are, because at the moment it's got this very cute little framing thing on the top which will give me a vague idea, but yeah, it's just a good cheap way. I think Graeme's selling, or will be selling, the print files for this at $30, and the material costs are not very high for printing something this size. And yeah, I say I'm quite impressed. I'm looking for. It's got a few sharp edges on it, but I guess I can file those off. But yeah, it's pretty good. I've seen Graeme sent over a couple of other cameras, earlier generations of stuff that he'd made, and I have to say that the production quality on this is a lot nicer. He's got better. That seems rude. So yeah, so that's pretty fun. I can't believe Paul's bailed on me. I'm gonna have a read of what it says in here. Everybody, good. Just talk amongst yourself, everybody. I'm just gonna quickly go and put the kettle in the water. I'll be right back. I got flashed.
Sorry.
That's all right. I can give you up.
I'll turn it all down really low for you.
So I'm going to bring this through here so I can actually keep half an eye on it and make sure I don't tip the bottles over. So this is how I keep my chemicals warm. I've got an old cool box that I fill up with hot water, and then at the moment, because they just happen to be in these bottles, I'm just dunking the bottles in there. Where are we at the moment? 25 degrees, still a way to go. Obviously getting chems up to temperature is probably the biggest hassle when it comes to colour developing. In fact, it's the only hassle when it comes to colour developing. I have thought about getting hold of something like the TCS, the temperature control thing, to get the chems warmed up a bit more easily and consistently, but haven't got around to it yet. So anybody who's got any good tips for how to get the chems warmed up, that would be gratefully accepted. I'm thinking of bullying Rob into loading up the dark slides for us.
God.
Because Rob, you used to shoot. I think Rob has been working as a professional photographer since the mid 2000s. So, although Rob hasn't shot film for quite some time, what have we got? It's black and white. So all of this, waste of my bloody time. Waste of my time. Right, you stand here. I'm going to take my box and go.
I enjoyed that a lot.
What speed film is it you've got?
So I brought some 200 FOMA.
Okay, lovely.
Standing.
Did you bring some developer for black and white?
Yeah.
Good. What did you bring?
I brought monobath.
Okay, well that'll be an adventure. Okay.
Exactly. So I hope everyone enjoyed Graham's explanation of a process that we're now not going to use.
I tried.
We thought that when we have limited amount of time, we would do things like that to each other to make sure that it was even more difficult, which I think is important. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use monobath. So people who are used to black and white chems know that you have develop, you have stop, and you have fix. Let me just try and get this right now live. So develop is what develops the image in the first place. Stop just stops the chemical reaction from happening, acid to alkaline or vice versa, alkaline to acid I think. You can just stop with water by just washing, and then fix is what stops the silver continuing to interact with light in the future, so it washes away any remaining photosensitive chemicals so that it continue exactly as locked in place, if that makes sense. Monobath mixes it all into one. So rather than doing one chemical in and out, two in and out, three in and out, you put it all in one, you agitate it at the temperature that you need, you pour it out and you go. Now the slight intricacy is that because the chemicals are basically mixed up all together in one, before you could say, right, if it's going to be a bit cold, I can either concentrate my developer or leave it in for longer, and I will get effectively the same reaction over time. With a monobath, because it is both developing and fixing at the same time, you can't do that. So actually it's down to temperature, time and agitation to make sure that you get all three in place at the right point. So, how are we doing?
I'm eating jackfruit roll.
Okay.
So I'm doing pretty well, thanks.
So
where's the monobath?
Monobath is in the car.
No good there.
Great.
So while we're waiting for that bit, have you got which camera are you using? Are you ready to set it up? Have you
Hold
talked me through? No. That is not.
So I'm gonna use a snapshot. Just don't eat on TV. The only downside when doing portrait shoots, you generally don't want a 90mm lens on there because that's a bit wide. That's like 30mm equivalent, but it'll be fine. We'll get nice and close. We'll do some fun stuff with it. It'll be great. And it'll be a good chance actually to use it. Make use of the ground glass on the back to get the focus and everything right. So what we need to do, we need to get the cams ready and on the go. Mm-hmm. We need to get the film holders loaded up. Where's your dark bag? Can I guess? Is it in your car?
Correct. So I will get the changing bag and the chems.
Yeah.
And you stay on the people.
How did I ever get talked into this? So yeah, the things I'm slightly concerned about using large format for doing portrait stuff is that normally when I muck around with it, I'm just using a natural light, and if that's indoors, that means that I'm having to really open up the aperture on here. But with the lighting we've got going on today, actually, Rob, what is the lighting setup we're going for here today?
We're going to use a couple of Bowens Gemini 500 watt flash heads.
Yeah.
Going to keep it really simple with a key and a clip.
A key and a clip light. Can you explain what a key and a clip light is?
So your key light is your main hero light source.
I like the sound of a hero light source.
And the clip light is
mine,
the one behind you.
Yeah.
To give you a bit of an edge.
Gotcha. So nice simple setup. These lights we're using, they're big chunky lights. These the main difference between these and like kind of lights that somebody, an amateur like myself would use, is it refresh time? Is it power cycle? What is it that makes these different?
A multitude of these. To be fair, these are.
Can we bring one into the shot?
Can indeed, but I'm just getting this moved up and tested.
Oh, hang on. I've got a joke. Do you know what this is, Graeme?
Is it a camera now?
No. It's the Analogue spotlight.
Oh god. you can leave as well. Right. Where is that?
I mean, technically it's digital, but you know.
Where's the dart bag?
In here. Hopefully.
Dart bag.
These are the bad boys.
One of the most incredibly useful things for any analog photographer. I hate them, but they are a necessary evil. And the fact that you're going to make me use one like a savage is upsetting me. Still, it's good practice.
I apologise, massive flash.
Oh, that just made me look at it.
Well, that's on you, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least they work, that's fine.
Okay.
There is a long debate going on in the comments about whether a sous vide is the correct name for a temperature controller. I'm not gonna get involved.
I'm blessed by not caring. Okay, so we got.
So first of all, show what's in. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody who's never opened up, never shot 4x5, so it comes in the box. Which doubles over. Some of them actually have another box within a box as an extra purchase.
I was going to resell that.
I know you would.
And
And then inside this is your plastic bag with the film in. This is the bit you definitely don't want to open in daylight.
So to be clear, the person who was saying earlier, make sure you load it live.
We're ignoring you.
That was a prank, a jape,
a jolly jape. Yeah. What I'm actually going to do, just because I've got. So.
And for those who haven't seen a changing bag before, now this is I always talk about this as one of the most integral pieces of kit for a film photographer. So you can do a couple of different things. So when I shoot 35mm, when I'm going to develop it, this basically means you don't need a darkroom for developing. Obviously for printing you still would, but for developing you don't, because what you can do is there are 2 zips, and in here the idea is that you create a light tight area in a bright area, so you can put your sleeves in, your arms through the sleeves, and you can basically manipulate film, load it into developing tanks and things like that without needing a pure darkroom, which makes it a bit easier, a bit more mobile. The reason that people hate it is because you can get the film bag sweat, which is when it's obviously it's plastic lined to be light proof. When you get nervous, when you start to drop the film, it gets just worse and worse in there. Obviously the material weighs on anything that you're trying to do. You're doing it all blind.
Yeah, and also if you've got, like, especially with 36 exposure roll of 35mm, and if you've got all that film out, and it's just like coiled everywhere, and the bag's laying on top of it. When I regularly use one of these, I got just a bit of a cardboard box and kind of made a prop internally for it to keep the bag off my hands when I was using it, to give myself a bit more.
That's fancy.
4x5 won't be quite so bad because they haven't got the roll. So anyway, so what I'm going to do. Loading 4x5 is easy. I mean, especially, so this is a picture I took yesterday with the snapshot. I know I'm handling this fairly grubbily. Listen, 1, the film is pretty knackered, and 2, it wasn't a great shot. So just to give you an idea though, what we're trying to do in the dark, getting hold of the film, it's got ridges on here.
Come a bit closer.
Okay, well, that's the right way around to go in the bottom, isn't it? I'm going to double check this.
Not just should be bottom left or top right.
Top right, thank you. I thought it was, but it's always best to check. So, smush. So
you'll be doing this in the dark.
I'll be doing this in the dark bag. I'm presuming you're going to leave the lights on. So you just slide that in there, like that. Fold that down, and then the dark side goes down. That's how easy it is to load 4x5 film. It is way easier than a lot of other stuff you have to do.
What's this?
So these are the dark sides. So the thing with the dark sides is that they've got a white side and a black side. So the idea is that, generally speaking, when I load film fresh, I put it in so that the white side is out. Then when I take it out, take my picture, and you put it back in again with the, excuse me, cleaning it, with the dark side out, and that way you know that sheet has been shot, and you then don't go and expose it again.
Because obviously, unlike a 35mm or a roll film of any type, it's not like you can know that you've moved it on, and your only guess is have you moved it on from that shot or not. You use a different holder for each shot, right?
Yeah, unless you do multiple exposures or something like that, then yeah.
And how many holders would you then take out then for a day?
If I'm going out, I'll use. I think I've got 7 holders, so that gives me 14 pictures. So yeah, I'll kind of fill up everything that I've got.
So you wouldn't try and do it live in the field with a changing bag or anything?
If I can avoid it, because as I mentioned earlier, I'm not a big fan of changing bags.
Okay.
But you, Rob, you used to have to do this on the reg, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, do you reckon you've still got the skills that kill? I think.
That's the last job I did with 5.4. I loaded from back to front and shot through the anti-aliasing backing.
That sounds
I would say
great.
probably not.
You made the special effects though.
Oh,
I think we ought to get Rob in here, see if he's still got the skills that kill. By which I mean, I am passing this responsibility. Oh,
Do you want to come do the lighting instead then? Do you want to come do the lighting instead?
I think the lighting looks great the way.
half done.
So what we've got is Rob is currently setting up all the portrait lighting behind camera.
I've got one job.
And we've got Graeme on camera.
Fine. Right. Okay.
So the film's going in the big.
Yeah, ideally, I'd rather be working on a slightly larger surface than this, but it's fine.
But needs must.
Needs must, as the devil rides. So zip up the inner layer, zip up the outer layer, and put my fat paws through this bag. This does not feel. Yeah, not even remotely. When did you last use this?
Last
Okay,
week.
hang on.
There's two sleeves.
Okay, right. Okay. Right. Oh, that's all going in one place. God, where did
I don't think he's put it in the inner bag. I think he's put it in the outer bag.
I can't believe there was even an option to put it in.
Cheryl has said. So Alex has asked how many films can you develop at once with large format?
That depends on what you're using to develop it. So, the way I develop film is using a Paterson print developing tank, and I can do 4 sheets at a time with that. If you've got the Mod 5.4, I think that takes 5 sheets. I think, but I'm sure somebody in the chat will correct that. So I think generally sort of 5 or 6 is the most of the common ones, but I don't know. The method that I use, I can do 4 at a time.
Okay.
I think I've got it in the right bit of the bag now. I hope I've got it in the right
So
bit.
Alex is saying 14 shots at once would be quite a lot to develop afterwards.
Yeah, but it doesn't take that long to go through it really, because the loading of the film into the tray that I use is very straightforward, and because it's not going onto a reel, so it doesn't have to be dry, so I can use it, rinse it through, make sure it's clean the chemicals, and then just load it straight back up again. So that was it. So Rob, you can have a go. Come on.
Someone's calling it the panic bag.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Come on, Rob.
All right then.
Let's give this a whirl.
This is the man.
I think
Who
we're
is
in
all
the
right-
right place now.
So we.
So there's 2 layers of sleeve things.
I'm just trying to find.
Yeah.
Okay, well I can feel them.
Okay. So there we go. So this is the man who has done this as a job before, but many moons ago. Who, just to remind everyone, said we could come to the studio if he could do his work quietly and not go in front of the camera. Currently loading Graham's
Elbow
4x5
deep in
a
a bag.
Yes. People are answering some questions on there. That's great. Shirley's saying picking up some great tips. I'm assuming that's not from us. I'm assuming that's from the comments in the group that's going on. Okay, so I think we're going with the
Just go with the.
white background. I think with the general consensus. You're eating biscuits again. You've eaten constantly throughout. No, I'm not going to ask you more questions while you're doing that.
Paul, I have a question.
Yes.
What temperature does the monobath want to be at?
So it depends a little bit on. So it's 21 degrees is the typical. There's actually a brochure somewhere. Did I put it down somewhere? I might put it down. Here we go. So I can talk this through actually quickly. So when we're using the monobath, does the box help with the change your bag to sweat? Oh, yeah, sweaty hands. Sweaty hands indeed.
Not yet.
Is it going well though?
I've got one in.
Got one in. Brilliant. How fast is this? So this is the monobath. So this is the Cinestill processing instructions that comes with it.
Now I'm going to find the one I've already half loaded.
Looks like a clip from a TV vet program. Yes, he's birthing a lamb.
Nobody move.
He is birthing a lamb in there. It's incredible. So this is the instruction leaflet for the Cinestill monobath, and it's pretty easy to use. So you add the chemicals into one thing. It's being heated up at the back. I was using a Schweppes tonic bottle until I decided that was dangerous for many, many reasons. So it's now in a plastic bottle. And what you do, as I said earlier, there is a trade-off between temperature, time and agitation. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to say the temperature down the side, and then agitation goes with time. So what that means is that if you are doing it for longer, you have to agitate less, because the balance between development and fixing happens with more or less agitation. Basically, agitation prevents over-processed, under-fixed negatives, is the little quote. And then the only subtlety is the other chart that you need is the one that looks at the film. So there are different films respond differently. So most of them sit under a normal time. However, they call out Berger, ADOX, Street Pan, Retro as sort of exceptions to the rule. And also some of the T-Max films as well, they recommend doubling the time because the grain responds slightly differently. So we're looking down here. Foma 200 film. Here you go, Graeme. Foma 200 film, shot normally, 21 degrees.
21 degrees.
And 21 degrees will be minimal agitation for 6 minutes.
What does minimal mean?
Minimal means 10 seconds gentle agitation, then 5 seconds every minute.
That is minimal.
So development should only take 6 minutes. Now if we decided to do it a bit warmer, or if it was in the summer and we had no choice, 24 degrees, it would take 4 minutes, but you'd have to agitate it a little bit more to make sure that it got through the developments as needed. So that's really simple to do. Now, they say it can cope with sort of 20 rolls, the monobath that you reuse, so you literally pour it back out and reuse it again. You need to add a little bit of time. This will be the third or fourth time I've used it, so we might have to add on a little bit extra. But apart from that, that should be pretty good. So 6.5 minutes at 21 degrees should be fine. We have a question for you, Graeme. Graeme, what do you use to store your large format negatives? Do you use some kind of album?
That is a good question. At the moment, as you may have noticed earlier when I grabbed these, I have not got a good solution. So at the moment, quite a lot of them are kicking around in things like envelopes or old bags from 4x5 film. I do want to get proper sleeves for them, just as I do with the rest of my negatives. I just kind of haven't got around to them yet. Whenever I've gone to buy them, people have been out of stock. Also, a lot of the ones I've taken earlier on, a lot of the ones that are in here, they weren't great. These are practice shots, so I wasn't being terribly precious about them. But that's a good...
I don't miss this. I don't miss this.
Come on. So yeah, like I said, this is not a good way of storing them at all. But at the moment, because I've just been disorganised, but you can get negative sheets just like you can for roll film.
Sweaty elbows.
Sweaty elbows. 4x5 film is glamorous life. Like you shot all sorts. Would you rather be loading 35mm or 120 now?
Oh, 120 I could do in my sleep.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the RZ 120 backs, I was loading those quicker than they could be shot.
Okay, but and of course you said as soon as you got into doing it professionally, you didn't ever deal with developing it, did you?
No. Did you leave that? You know that dud piece you loaded up. Did you not take it out again afterwards?
No.
Right, that's what I'm feeling then.
I like to keep our special guests on their toes.
Exactly. There's also a small crocodile in there. Hamish has just come up with a joke. Well, apparently, Hamish's kid showed him a yogurt tube with a joke on it that happened to be about photography. What is a photographer's favourite card game?
Last one's all yours.
So you've done. So one was done
3 out of 4.
Done 3. Okay, right.
And remove the one that you preloaded to confuse me.
So, okay. So we've done 3 out of 4, and then one has been handed back.
I didn't want that one
as a test. And oh my god, it's already being developed. That is how good Rob is at loading films. That is incredible. Well done.
God, this bag is amazingly not light type. Yeah. This. I mean, I said I'm not a fan of dark bags.
How many have we got loaded?
Can we get 3? This, listeners should know, this is a terrible dark bag. Because the elastic has gone on it. So
In fairness, that one is from the 70s. New ones are available.
If you're going to use it, this is a bad scene. Anyway, right, let's find out where we are.
I mean, we're putting it on Instagram regardless.
Yeah.
So if it's cloudy, it's cloudy. We'll know why.
Cloudy with a chance of...
Alright, shall we start getting the... how shall we... Okay, any tips for a pose? So this is going to be me.
You are asking dangerous questions.
We've got a few jokes still going on, that's excellent. Yes. No, that's fine. Yeah. So I'll be back there. That's fine. We've got a couple of stools, artfully draped. What was the goddess? Kwanon. Thousand arms. Yeah. Goddess of peace.
Oh, we could do a 1,000 arm pose.
Could we do 1,000 arms, multiple exposure?
Maybe not 1,000 arms. That might be close.
Multiple exposure, multiple arms.
Yeah.
Okay then. The options are. Let's throw it to the community. Options are straight portrait, the 1,000-armed goddess of peace. What else? Other options? Topless Graeme self-portrait.
I mean, it's what everyone really wants. I think that's what everyone tuned in hoping for. I'm not a piece of
A
meat.
voguing pose. Okay, voguing pose. Excellent. I haven't vogued in a long time, /ever. But that can do. Mean and moody with lots of contrast. Tory power pose. That's a good one. People are still talking about my beard. Excellent. I don't even understand it. The beard escaping. I don't even know how that's insult. I mean, it must be an insult. Is it because there's not very much of it?
That's a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, is that it? Okay, that's fine. I just didn't realise. Voguing has got another topless self-portraits going down very well. School photo style. That's good. Although other people are saying they're leaving if you go topless. So we'll have a smaller but loyaler. There we go.
Yeah, well done. That, even in a dark bag, that was actually... I mean, I've done it more recently than Rob, so my things are a bit more useful. But it was still nice and easy to do. But as I've mentioned, this dark bag, piece of trash.
That's a family heirloom.
I'm
not even joking. That was inherited. I mean, my uncle's still alive, so it's not as emotional. But even still, he used that in the 70s.
He won't be if I meet him.
He used that in the 70s, and it hasn't been fixed since. There's also a hole in the side. I didn't tell you that at the time.
Set yourself up for success.
No, that's fine. Okay, it's a mouse. I don't understand. Hamish is now saying it's escaping because it's a mouse. I don't understand what that makes. Prom photo with Rob and Graeme. I love the prom photo idea. A hand catalogue pose. Okay, these are all excellent.
I'm very good. I think I was.
So how many photos do we think we have? We think we have 6.
No, we have 4. We have 4.
We have 4.
2 4. Because we can shoot 4. We can develop 4 at once. Oh, unless we go check on temperature because I left it in the water. Oh,
that's fine.
I'm going to leave it out for a couple of minutes.
The beard is a family heirloom.
That's not going to last generations.
Exactly. That's why it's like so ragged.
Right.
I mean, side note, there was a time, this is actually quite full for me, there was a time when I could only grow this part, and then my older brother could only grow this part, and my younger brother could grow this part. And my wife's idea was that we go on tour as a folk band, and it would be called 3 Men 1 Beard, which would have worked better if any of us could play instruments. But we had a really strong core branding concept, but no abilities. Okay. Thank you, Jeremy, for the. Finally, someone's come out and support. I mean, not support for my beard, but he's just said Hamish should back off until his beard's better. Okay, so we've got the best tripod that camera's ever seen. We'll set up a seat here.
Up and over the cables.
Up and over with the camera. I love the fact that we have got one of the lightest weight 4x5 cameras.
So we're going to start to move this across.
The most robust. Okay.
Thank you, Rachel. It is a great band name. Our careers never lasted as long as booking places to play.
Right. Let's get the ground glass off the back. So start to see. Catch.
And this was passed carefully to me to demonstrate the back of the camera.
As you can see, remarkably resilient, the acrylic.
Remarkably resilient.
Steve asked me to show that.
Chroma cameras, they're 10% off this weekend.
Yeah, just because I've dropped more and broken them.
Yeah. Incidentally, before I forget, that is a good point. So the while we're sort of setting up the final camera, we'll show you the setup in a second, and Rob's doing now a bit of extra lighting. With the Analogue spotlight, there were clearly a lot of companies that were expecting to get some sales in, myself included, but you've heard already about that.
Extensive.
Who have
tiny violin.
yes, and a lot of them have put on special deals or trying to make a bit of some kind of excitement around their products. I know that, jokes aside, Steve has launched 2 new cameras, and this is one of them, right?
Yeah, this is one of them. I bought the other one. Don't tell.
Okay. Don't tell anyone, internet.
Don't
Apparently,
tell
Graham's
Bob.
bought the other one as well.
Yeah, I placed an order. I think it's placed an order. There's a lead time on these things.
So if you want to head over to Chroma Cameras, there's a deal on this weekend with his new cameras. I know that Stephen Downey from Cosmophoto has put on certain things. I think they're on a deal as well, some of his t-shirts and his Cosmophoto film. Analogue Wonderland has some deals on as well. I don't know whether Intrepid has, but by all means, please check out those cameras. They are beautiful wooden machines. You've already seen one of them there, but there are seveal others. Hamish was going to be there with his Pixelator. The Pixelator is this close to finishing now. Again, we'll see what the next couple of weeks have in store, but outside of the things that shall not be named, that seems to be going really, really well. Which other companies were going to be there? I don't want to... Sam Solarcan, who has been here. Again, I haven't seen whether he's doing any deals, but please go and check out the Solarcan website.
Who have you mentioned? I wasn't listening.
We've got the 2 Stevens, Hamish, and
Silverpan.
Duncan Silverpan was going to be there. He's currently working on a new website and a new subscription model. I think he's been on Twitter. I think I've seen him on the side. So let him have a little play with... Go and talk to him about what that might look like. I know he's been looking for input and feedback across the time. Who else was involved? Nick and Trick were going to be there with Bellini Chemicals. The Disabled Photographer Society was going to be there with a load of cameras. I don't know if they have an online shop, but again, any kind of help or donation, if you can, would be greatly appreciated. If Hamish can jump in and remind me anyone else I've forgotten. Oh, Hamish has got a show price. Thank you, Hamish. So he has a code on the website. I'm guessing that's for Pixelated for £5 off. Thank you, Hamish. Anyone else I am missing out on? So I'm slightly distracted by this. No, sorry, keep going.
We're just figuring out framing and stuff like that.
No, that's fine. So please go and have a look at those companies who were going to be there and who obviously things fell apart. There we go. Slight sales pitch over.
Should we move these units slightly out of the way?
We're turning to the final part. So we've got 53 minutes left. So far we haven't taken a photo, but we have done a lot of talking. So we're pulling back a little bit.
Move that out. Take that. We decided to go for is to make Paul look like a military dictator. We feel it's what he would want. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our film ready. We've got the camera. Can we swing that around to show? Swing around to sort of show how we're set up here.
So talk through the lighting as well. The system.
This is the heaviest duty tripod. You're going to see for the lightest camera.
Which you can't see because it's on the other side of the pole.
It's
hello. Ta-da. Okay, and talk us through then as well the lighting setup you have, Rob, and why. What are you like to
I've
do?
left the LEDs up just so everybody can see and it doesn't go completely dark. I can point that at me. We've got our 120 Octabox, which they'll never be able to see because it's
right behind you.
Being our key light, it's going to give you a generally nice, soft-ish flashing light, so it'll even make the beard look good.
This is what I've been looking for 3 years. Also, Rob, welcome to Analogue community. You're getting on great.
And then behind you, opposite the key light, is a very long strip light, which is going to give you a highlight, much like you have right now, down the opposite side of your face. We're also going to use one of our polyboards just as a bit of a fill-in to fill in some of those shadows. So it's not quite so moving.
And for people who haven't done studio lighting before, your main light is above and to the left of me.
Yeah.
What's the logic of it being there rather than further sideways, lower down? What are you looking for?
Just adding a bit of shape to your face.
Okay.
Your shapeless face.
I'm also working within the slightly restricted size of the studio that we have. Depending on where we put that light, we can cast more shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be fairly one-sided, but with a not too evil, maniacal shadows.
Brilliant. So we're looking for a bit of light without making it like a maniac.
Yeah.
Well, as much as you can do with. Yes. Okay. I'm really glad I ended up in front of the camera.
Yeah. Graeme, could you pass me a couple of those bike stands where you're right there?
What are the bike stands for? I'm going to guess not bikes.
No, they are for the polyboard. So they're the right width for a sheet of polystyrene to stand in.
The more you know. Oops. Yeah, right. Sheet of polystyrene.
So then 3 stands. And then you can move your filling board wherever you want it and it'll just stand there.
Okay then. So here we have something that is going to bounce back a bit of light off the main light that's over there. So it's a form of simple 3 light setup. So you have a main light up there, slight fill light here, and then a rim light.
Yeah, rim, clip, whatever you want to call it.
Third light.
This would be key, fill, and clip.
Key, fill, clip.
Guys, meet going.
Exactly. It's 3 members of a K-pop band.
So we're using the ground glass to get an idea of this. Fortunately, you can't see me. You can't see me.
We're also going to have some live photos of it happening.
Okay, that looks about right. Yeah. So Paul, you're going to want to kind of.
So where am I going to be, and how zoomed in is this?
We'll take a step forward for us.
Yeah.
That's about, for the time being, where I can't get any further back.
So Graeme has currently got a tea towel over his head while
It's not a tea towel! It's tea towel adjacent, but it's more light resistant.
It's an adjacent tea towel. So what he is doing there is he's checking is his ground glass stacking at the moment?
Yeah.
So it's got a ground, and what that does is if you put a piece of ground glass, you get an image projected onto the glass that you can actually then see, but it's very, very faint. And you can do this trick with any camera or any lens. And it allows them to focus, because obviously with a large format camera it's not like an SLR where you can focus through the lens and then switch it back through. He's having to focus through the lens using a ground glass bag rather than through anything else. Okay, we're getting close.
Yeah.
So do we think we can do double exposures? So do we think we can do a straight portrait, Vogue, that seems to be highly voted. I don't know what a Vogue pose could look like, but we can Google that.
Yeah.
Should we try a double exposure to try and get 1,000 armed goddess of mercy?
Do that right? Yes.
And then a 4th one in case we try to screw it up.
Yeah. Because we've already screwed up.
Or a self-portrait.
I like the idea of anyway. So we're kind of frame-wise, we're set up about right now. I would say we've gotten you nicely in there, filling the frame quite well. We want when we do 1,000.
It looks like it's pointed at my groin. I'm just going to say.
Give the people what they want.
Just checking about.
So next we need to get a light reading on what we're going to need to be setting this out. So
talk us, come here and then talk us through the metering. Or are you going to hand that over to?
I'm going to hand it over to the expert in lighting, Rob, to talk us through the metering for this.
Give me 1 second.
Rob's just stepped outside to die. If he doesn't come back, apparently we can have all of this stuff.
Yeah. Come into camera and have a quick chat about what you would do if Rob the expert wasn't here.
If Rob the expert wasn't here, I wouldn't have a setup like this. I'm not good at metering with flashes, so what I would do if I was doing this at home with 1 flash or more than 1 flash is I would work out roughly what I think it should be, and then take a picture with a digital camera, look at it and go, that looks terrible, or that looks about right, and then work from there. So
I just thought you might want to go with a light meter.
A light meter is also quite clever. Yeah.
So you're using a sort of specific flash meter, right? There.
Yeah, this is the same Seconic 308B. Yes,
Can I show it to
you can do.
So what Rob is using is he's using this to assess the lighting situation and make the right hand.
Okay, so step back to kind of exactly where you were. We'll check. No, you weren't that far back, were you?
Someone suggested the Christine Keeley chair pose.
I gotta go.
Right. What's the film using?
200.
And shutter speed?
You tell me. We can go. So we've got choices go from up to 500 at the max.
Okay. And what aperture would you like to shoot at?
F8, F6. What have we got on here? Don't want to make it too shallow, but I can't see without trying to decide to get them because it's upside. I'm positioning it upside down. So
they're just dialing in the settings here.
I think probably F8 is probably going to be
aiming for F8. Okay.
Aiming for F8, yeah.
Right.
So 6.8 is wide open anyway. So
okay. Let's crank some more power into this one then.
We'll just make sure that the focus is spot on your beautiful, beautiful face.
Okay.
Beautiful.
F8 and 2/10. It's not a bad guess, was it?
F8 and what? Sorry.
2/10.
2/10.
2/10 for stop. So pretty much F8.
F8.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what shutter speed was that based on? Sorry.
So 1/125th.
1/125th. Okay, right.
Sync speed.
Right. That's convenient. Right. So Paul, you can now. I'm going to check the focus here, and you cannot move once I've done that. Ever again until we move.
So we're just checking the focus again. So the settings are dialed in.
Still got to do that one, but we're not far off.
Okay. Main settings are dialed in. I can hear things popping up. I'm going to just start to assume that it's just personal abuse, beard chat, and people being useful with each other, which actually is part of the fun. So during this last bit, I know this is a bit dull to watch. It's the necessary part of studio setup.
Yep.
Yeah, you carry on, Rob.
1/25th.
If anyone has any burning questions, please ask them and answer them in the comments.
So I'm going to go with one. This closest to 1/25th on this is 100, so that'll be fine. Film that, will eat that quite happily.
It looks like people have recently dialed in as well and are wondering what we're doing. We're not sure. But fortunately Rob does. This is Rob, whose studio we are in.
Oh, okay.
Studio 88 in High Wycombe. Fantastic little place.
Shutters closed on that now. One of the things, so this lens, to keep it open to focusing stuff, you put it on bulb mode and then use the plunger and the lock on the plunger. On my lens, you can actually open it and close it manually, so it just stays open. Very important to make sure you've closed it before you put the film in.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we are using the flash sync. So the camera has a little PC socket, or the lens has it. There we go.
Right, should we do a test fire with that? Make sure that's actually gonna.
Yeah, to make sure that's actually going to work.
Okay.
I've got an idea. Why don't we do a mugshot?
Look, what? Are you gonna slap and watch lights?
No, I'm still.
You better have the.
He's just moved as well.
I know. I'm just. Well, we're gonna
focus.
I was running after my beard that escaped.
Right. Okay.
Is that the right joke?
Right. I'm gonna say that's probably close enough. You haven't moved much. This bit of soft focus will do you good.
And so, just so I know, where are you aiming from and to?
It kind of the whole body.
It's the whole body.
Yeah. This is a wide angle lens. Oh, I was gonna say where to put. So dark slide going in. Put the camera in.
So can we show what's going on? Because it's just focused on me.
I think it's all good. So dark slide in. Gonna double check again that lens is closed, which it is. So dark slide.
With the bump in advance.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So,
Graeme, can you share anything? Show anything?
can I show anything? Well, I said what I'm doing. The lens is closed. Everything's ready now. Shutter speed set, aperture set, dark slide.
So this is going to be the straight pose.
This is going to be the straight pose. So, look magnificent. Okay. Give us a serious turn. Look, just ready, steady.
Right,
Serious tempo. Okay.
I felt really awkward with my hands there.
Picture taken. Dark slides back in. Okay, and as I said earlier, making sure that the black side is now facing out.
So can I now do a voguing pose? Is that the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do a voguing pose.
Can we Google voguing pose?
And then check focus again just quickly. So again.
So okay. Some of these look a lot tougher than others.
Oh, damn.
Oh dear. How would that work?
I don't even know what you're
I
looking at.
feel like if
You
I tried to do a
Googled the Kama
voguing
Sutra,
pose,
haven't you?
I feel that if I tried to do a voguing pose, it would look like I was taking the piss, which I'd rather not do. So, Rob, can you just check whether anyone's having any good ideas for poses?
Sure.
Just on the comments.
Okay,
or
so,
whether it's still a
basically you need to stay on that plane of focus
No,
now.
I'm still talking about
Otherwise-
your beard. Was it taped on? Has it had it since birth? That's not facial hair.
I don't even know who's taking the piss every now. This could be literally anyone.
It needs better tape. Yeah, it's all beard chat.
You tuned in to Beard Chat.
A child with a mouse on his face. Why? Just joining back in. Why is the model with a child? Why is the model a child with facial hair? Thanks, Sam.
This is what you get for trying to do something good for the community.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Make sure that's all locked off. Okay.
So I might try and do a power. What was it? The Tory power pose.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay,
It's not
right.
far off the best dictator pose that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, try best dictator pose. This dictator?
Okay.
My legs too much.
The dictator one is when you take it off into the distance.
Like this.
Yeah. That's how you're into sort of Lenin and Stalin territory.
Like I'd destroy things, but for the good of.
But in a good way.
But in a way that no one's quite sure.
Okay, films in. Shutters cocked. Okay. That's
So
two down.
before, can I just guess what the comments are going to be? It's like an angry child who's lost his mouse. I don't know.
All right. Okay, what do you want to go for next? You do you want to try multiple?
Oh, it's looking coyly over the shoulder, back towards the camera. Thanks, Rachel.
We could do. Should we do the multiple exposure one?
Okay, so again, try and stay broadly. So what look are you going to do?
Going to do so arms down, then like that, then like that, then like that, then like that. So 5 or 4?
We're going to adjust the exposure.
Just drop it by 4 spots. 4 stops. Is that how you do it? I get confused. Dave,
Just stop. Yeah.
just stop down by 4
Yeah.
stops.
Stop down by 4 stops. Okay, well that'll make the focusing easier, I guess. Okay.
Is that right?
Let's go the other way. So we go from we're on F8, aren't we? So F11, F60, F22. Can you get to 32?
I can do your 32.
Right, then, there we go.
Okay.
32 and 4 flashes, yeah?
Mm?
32 and 4 flashes.
That's the plan. So this is canon. Canon. This is an interpretation of Canon, the thousand-armed goddess of peace, as interpreted
Two-armed goddess
by-
taking the piece.
3 men and the internet.
Alright.
Everyone keeps saying you're moving.
Yeah.
To stop moving.
Stop moving, Paul. Stop
Stop
moving.
fidgeting.
Right, okay.
Hard.
Just check. Shutters closed. Okay. Right. Cool. Shutter. So we're going to do. Okay.
Haven't felt this nervous since I started work experience last week. If I make the jokes, they hurt less.
Alright. Okay, ready. Okay, first shot. You got to keep your face still through all these and look at eyes open, look at me. Okay. Second shot. Third shot. And finally. Well done. Good standing still. See who said mate?
And then, can we do one of me and Graeme that Rob takes?
We could probably do that.
Unless it has a self-timer, we can all
Is this
get.
one of you sat on a stool looking up at the other one in a
Yes!
lovingly...
Like a creepy family portrait.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hands on the shoulders.
Yeah, so if we have a stool,
We have a stool.
let's do a strange family portrait. But no touching because, health and safety.
Well, and also you've got a history. There's that restraint.
How can I both be a child and be criminally liable? It's one or the other.
Okay. So
this is the thing. So if I sit like this.
do you want to check how
But like a Victorian one where everyone's very prim and proper. So I'm like this, or this way.
So there we go. I'll open it right up.
And then you sit across this way, but without actually. And then without.
Open the shutter.
It should. No,
No,
hang
we're not
on.
open yet. Okay, order and 5.
That fired. Is that no problem?
No. There's no film now. Why is that on? It's because it's not. That's it. And then I'll just open it right up so you can see through there.
Oh, thank you, I can actually see now.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Like a Victorian family.
Mm.
Right.
Because you're going to have to come around the front to. So if I stand here, am I in the right place?
You are exactly in the right place. I was going
Okay.
to focus on Paul.
Oh yeah, he's best.
Let's.
Boy,
Where are we?
he's so proud.
Where are we? There we are. I hate these things.
I love the sound of the little beep that just.
The beep that says someone's mocking Paul for his beard.
Holy crap. You got a magnifying lamp?
No, I just can't. I've got real short-sightedness.
You want to come focus in there? Because I can't see shit.
Okay, I'll come and
You
focus
can't
on your.
focus it. Unless I've got a loop
So
somewhere.
how are we doing for time? So we're actually not doing too badly, assuming that Monobath develops as well as we do.
I've still got a loop somewhere.
So 3 are down, 1 still to go.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't tend to use a loop just because I can get real close to the.
Oh, fair enough. You can do it with your eyeballs. That's
Oh,
fine.
Rob's got a loop.
Why I've still got a loop, I have no idea.
Yeah. For those who are wondering, a loop is a tiny magnifying glass that looks, voila, as per Rob's there. And the beauty is it allows lighting at the side so you can look down it without blocking off the light, which you would with a normal sort of close-up lens. So you can check things like focus on ground glass, or when you get your negatives back, you can quickly scan along, see which ones are in focus before you do a print or a scan.
Back to 100.
So we're just focusing the last one, and then we will move on to developing.
Yeah, that's the easy bit.
Drying
Oh,
it is going to be a challenge, but we'll worry about that later.
I won't worry about it at all.
Also good.
Okay, that is cock block and ready to rock.
Yeah.
Right, last film holder in there. That's all shut. Yeah. Cock that. Cock it. Okay, last one out. Unhook that.
Okay, creepy family pose is
Okay,
ready.
Yeah.
Where are we? So we're all good to go. Am I right? You've set this camera all good to go, yeah?
Yeah, should be fine.
Yeah. In 3, 2, 1. Beautiful.
What were you doing?
Just unzipped.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Okay then.
Okay,
So
right.
that's 4 photos done. I can start to feel a bit less ridiculous, which is nice.
This is your idea, Sunshine.
I know. So developing. Are we going to try and wheel it over there, or can we do it?
We can wheel through to there if you want.
Is that easy, or should we just pull it through?
Well, tell you what. Why don't you guys sort that out? I'll get the sheets out here using your god awful dart bag.
Yeah. If I lose the
I'll do that.
flashlighting,
Yeah.
give us more room to do it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay then. Thanks for everyone's patience as we go through.
Smash.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go through. It's just brilliant. Okay then. So sorry for again. This is a bit of the slow part, but it's an essential element of behind the scenes for a shoot like this. So what's going on now is
Actually, yeah, let's spin it around so I can show people what we're doing with this.
perfect. So Graeme is going to do this, and
Yeah.
then what we'll do is we'll walk through to the kitchen, do developing, and then we're nearly there. We're nearly done, guys. This is sort of been a community interaction.
So I said this is what I use. This is a Patterson print colour print tank. It's great because it's a daylight tank. The lid just clips on like that. So you can see I made a few modifications from when it was a print thing, because when I first got it, I found that the film just laid flat on the base and then didn't develop properly. So I put in just some blobs of silicone gel, the kind of stuff you put around kitchen fittings and stuff like that, and also stuck these bits on to hold it in better, so that, I don't know, hopefully, there you go, so that it holds it into the film, doesn't move around within it. And the other thing I did with it is this used to have 2 fins here to hold the paper in place, but they were causing rubbing on the film. So that's all I've done with that. So all I have to do...
That was originally created for, and it's an adaptation basically.
Yeah, so this was created for developing colour prints, which have to be done in the dark, can't do it in a red light. So that's what it was made for. So you can get these reasonably easily, especially if somebody doesn't know what they've got. I think the price went up a little bit. They are so easy to work with. So all I have to do is get the negs out of the trays and just duff them in there, which even in a dark bag, it will not be hard. In a dark bag that
is from the 70s and has a hole in it.
There's definitely letting light in. I accept no responsibility for any of that. What I could do with a bigger tape. Actually, can we move the stuff off this one and I can use that?
Yep.
Put the microphone on here. Move that to there. Donk.
Donkey. So I hope people are still coming up with good film jokes.
I hope they're not. They're rotten.
That block of film is up for grabs.
Right, I'll make sure I actually put it inside the inside bit. Not with that. I think is going to help. This is
There's a lot of comments about bunny ears, Graeme. Anything to say about that? No? Don't know what that is then.
I don't know. Could not possibly comment.
Do you know what that could be?
So tank goes in.
Do you want to move this around so you can see? So we're dismantling the studio lighting at the back of us. And what we're going to do is we're going to load all this up and then develop.
Got enough room to work, do you think?
Yes. While Graeme is doing that, what I can do is I can quickly talk through the scanning. So while Graeme's doing that, I'm going to talk through scanning options. So this is the way that I digitise at the moment. There are many ways of digitising. I know it's something that a lot of people talk about. The way that I'm doing it at the moment isn't the way I want to be doing it, because I'm waiting for a certain product called the Pixelator. Pixel even later, some people have called it, but I would never say that about somebody who is so nice to me and never mentions my beard. So the basics is that I'm not great at sitting at a computer and scanning. I've done it before with an Epson V600 and it was fine. So much of my life and our lives seems to be spent sat on a computer. That part just doesn't really bring me that much joy, and can be a bit painful. I've also never quite got the hang of colour profiles, and I know hopefully there's lots of people who are going to say that it's easy, and I wish I had the skill that does that. I just don't. So for me, it's really about making it as simple and easy as possible, because this is not the part of film photography that I enjoy. Everything up to this point, brilliant. This part, not so much. So the way that I do it is quite simple. I have an LED light panel that plugs in via USB and produces a really bright uniform light, non-pixelated, which is the key thing. And then I have very simple film holders that will be replaced by the pixelator. At the moment, these are Epson V600 holders that allow for a bit of bowing, so the focus isn't perfect, which is why I'm looking to upgrade shortly. I've got a digitalizer for 110 as well, and it's as simple as loading up the film, popping it on, the bright light shines through, and then I use my mobile phone. I use my mobile phone with an app called Film Lab app, which is made by Abe, who was planning on being at the photography show. He has spent the last couple of years designing it. He did a Kickstarter, I think, originally. And what it does is, all you need to do is tell it, are you taking black and white, colour negative or colour slide? And then you just go over the top, take a photo. You can make basic colour corrections, contrast, or crops or rotations, and then you save it to your phone's camera roll, and that's it. Now, iPhone cameras today have a really high resolution, and if you use a macro lens, you can get incredible, basically full-size 35mm photos of those. I haven't got it so it's perfectly sharp, but frankly, that's perfectly sharp on a massive size print. It's more than enough for mobile phones. It's more than enough for sort of a smaller screen. If you're doing full sort of display it on a big screen, I think you'd want to then get a better scan. But often the challenge is when you've shot a load of film, how do you quickly get some things ready to share? And also, can you spot the really good ones? So what I would always do is I'd go through that, digitize it in that way. And if there's one that I really, really love, that's when I would either use an Epson scanner, send it off to a lab, or get it straight onto a print, depending on what I do. So that's sort of my plan. With a large format film, it's going to be a bit easier because obviously it doesn't need necessarily these things. We're just going to whack it on, maybe black out the far sides and then go from there. I'm sure that lots of people are hopefully commenting different ways that there we go, yes, already. So people are commenting on different ways that they can do similar things. Scanning is one of those things that has a multitude of answers. Different things work for different people in a way that is like nothing else within the film photography side, I don't think. I won't try and distract Graeme by asking here, but I'm sure if we said, what are the ways that you guys digitise? Do you digitise or do you go straight to print? Hopefully there'll be several different views and different ways that people do it. So if we'd gone medium format, this is what we'd be using. You can see the medium format holder here, or even this one if you don't want the strips between and you want it to just go all the way through. But as I say, these are going to be superseded by the pixelator when that makes it into my hands, and Hamish is this close. Alright then, how are we doing?
Hold up.
There's
The light leaks. It's going to be spectacular from this dart bag. I forgot to bring my dart bag. A really important feature, if you're going to use a dart bag, is to have one with elasticated cuffs.
Yeah, but if you're going to go with one with elasticated cuffs, you also wouldn't go with one that has a hole. I said it. I don't know why you thought I was joking, but it's only in the outer layer. There's at least one other layer to go.
The bit that you... I give up.
It's fine.
I give up, right.
It's fine. Okay, we've got another joke. Dave Walker. Why did the film photographer cross the road?
I don't know.
To get to the other slide.
Oh, boo! Bugger off, Dave.
It looks as though my... well, it says my wife is writing, Lucy Mackay, but I'm guessing it's probably my daughter.
I
But
don't
it's
know.
either my wife has had a stroke, or having a stroke, or it's my daughter, because
It's
they're
good
just
to know either way.
family.
Right, so,
Okay, what's a proctologist's favourite photo accessory?
oh, God.
A ring light.
Oh, God. You open the door to this.
How are we going to judge the best joke? The community should judge.
How are we going to judge the best joke?
I think what we'll do is we'll create a poll.
Let me clarify, I'm not getting involved with any of what's been going on with that.
Okay.
That's your Frankenstein monster. Okay, so film's loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Chemicals slightly too warm, but there's 22 degrees. We can work with that.
Fine. So we're going to move through to there.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So we're going to move the whole setup across. Rob promises that we won't break any of the equipment, which was a brave thing for him to promise us.
I will come and give you a hand to move.
Hamish is also confirming Pixelator is this close. So we're on to the last bit, guys. We're nearly there. Your ordeal is nearly over.
What about my ordeal?
Rachel says, what did the hen say to the lettuce leaf? She hasn't had an answer yet, and I haven't noticed photography in it yet, but...
Smile, please.
That sound was some piece of equipment. So this is the other part of Rob's amazing studio. Well, there's also an upstairs bit.
Okay.
But here is some integral parts for our purposes. That should be alright, Rob. Is that okay? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think that's perfect. So we have here the sink that we will need. we have the monobath. So the monobath has been sat in a water bath, and the purpose of the water bath is just to get it to the right temperature. So obviously, without I don't want to join the sous vide debate because I think that's been raging for a while, but getting the chemicals to the right temperature, you can do two things. You can either, when you mix it, it's relatively easy because you can take whatever temperature it is, add hot, and get the right proportions to go. Well, that's better. That's really good. Thank you. Or you heat up a larger bath to the right temperature and then just pop the plastic bottle in it. Graham's eating more food while you go. So
Chemicals and food.
So we said
Rachel. She knows my care for it.
So terrible technique already to be eating in the dark room area. The chemicals are generally dangerous.
I did actually bring, if you want to use them as you develop your film, some gloves.
So there are gloves available. There are latex gloves. No questions asked.
That's because, the reason I brought these is because if we were going to do C41, generally I'm not particularly fastidious about chemicals, but bleach makes a real mess. So and my Patterson tank, it doesn't tend to leak many chemicals, but it will always leak bleach for some reason. So
hang on, the microphone's gone quiet apparently. Thanks guys. Is that better? Is that turned down?
No, it should be.
Is anyone else tired?
Yeah.
Also, wash your hands, chaps. Good thought.
Okay. So, how long is this going to need in there for?
Didn't we say 6 minutes?
Oh, I wasn't listening.
6 minutes, minimal agitation.
Cool. So, how much have we got in here? Do you know?
Shed loads.
Okay, well, you're not going to need all of that. So, do you know how much? So, I'm guessing that's a 1 litre bottle.
Yep.
Use just over. Well, actually, use about half of it. That'll be plenty. I'll get a timer ready.
Okay, so we said, I think, but let's not look. We said. Let's just check. Okay, so thank you guys. Much better if they're saying. Okay, so we said 6 minutes is the base. We're going to add 30 seconds for the fact that this chems has been used for a few rolls already, and then we're going to. And then we are going to.
This is all I wanted for my day was a rotating stool.
Well, that was it. 6.5 minutes, and then minimal agitation. Minimal agitation, which was 30 seconds at the start, and then
5 seconds.
5 seconds every minute. Okay, so I haven't used one of these before.
So basically, all you have to do is tip it in the top there. We'll hit go. As far as agitating goes, just gently rock it.
There's no lid.
Sorry?
There's no lid.
That is the lid.
Okay.
And there's not another lid. Generally, one lid is enough for most containers, but there isn't another lid for the lid. It tips in there, it goes down in there. It's a light trap. So just gently rock it because you don't want to move too much about, otherwise you'll dislodge stuff. I'll start the timer.
Okay. All right. Is everyone ready? How are we doing for time? No, we're doing okay.
I've got 6 minutes. Okay, go for it.
So this monobath was chemicals that I'd mixed a couple of weeks ago. So generally speaking, chemicals last in powder form for years, in liquid form for weeks/months, depending on the chemistry and how you've stored it. You want to be checking for...
That'll be enough, dude.
That'll be enough.
So start rocking it.
Alright, so we rock it for 30 seconds. Do you have an agitation song that you sing?
No, I don't. What do you do?
Well, shake, rattle and roll. Shake your tail feather.
Lots of shake-based songs, it seems.
Yeah. Well, this is more of a rock, isn't it? So, Crocodile Rock.
Okay, that'll probably do you.
Yep. Crocodile Rock. Rockabye Baby.
Oh boy. You know, your wife and child might be watching this.
I think they are. Yeah, when I say I'm working.
One of the things you have to be careful of, this is a problem I have when I'm doing developing, is I sometimes... So how long are we doing this for again? 6.5 minutes.
6.5 minutes.
6.5 minutes, okay.
Tell me when we've done a minute.
I will do. Well, I'll tell you
when
we've done
a minute.
I'm what? Trust me, I am not a professional. It's like I get distracted during development and start going on the internet elsewhere. And then, go, oh, crumbs, and come back and like, I've overshot by 2 minutes.
I had actually where they say...
Okay, get your 5 second rock.
If you, the reason you do the sort of 5 second rock, so you're not trying to agitate it too much because the temperature is at the right level. That again, it's like developing fixed balance with the monobath. But if you lit it too long, you get bromide drag, is what you call it, which is quite a distinctive shape. I definitely got that last time I used this because I did exactly that. Did the agitation, put it down, then thought, I've got a minute.
I'm bored. I'm going to activate some more.
Drastically overestimated what I could fit into a minute by wandering out and going to do something, coming back 3 minutes later, and it was gone.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it goes well.
Yeah. So is this the first time? Not. And is this batch the first lot of this stuff you've used?
Yes.
Okay. And what did the first lot turn out like from it?
It's been pretty good. I mean, I haven't done I was going to do it for FP4 party, but this last 2 weeks has not been conducive to extra time for that, sadly. So I've only used it on old rolls that I didn't know what was on it or something like that. So the first one was an HP5 that I found that I think is from 4 years ago. That I don't even know which camera it was in, which is fine. You know, it's relatively modern. And they turned out pretty well, but the photos were from they're on an LCA and left in some kind of temperature, because I don't even know whether that roll of film went into storage. Because obviously I moved house quite a lot into storage, whether it went to Switzerland with us, what's happened to it. So it's not a good thing. But the photos came out really nicely. I haven't scanned them properly yet, but there's been a couple that have gone on.
Yeah.
Let's just see if anyone's asking anything. Okay, I guess I did that right then. So, okay, Paul's beard underdeveloped. Lucy's joined in with Rock Around the Clock. Is a good.
Oh god, this is. I have to say, having met Paul's lovely wife, I don't know. Boy, is she, punching down. I think is the correct. Is that the right term?
Punching down. Sure.
I'm not sure that's the right term.
Someone's offering £5 for a soul. I don't know whose soul. Sam Cornwell, the best joke I've seen all day is Paul's beard.
I feel good. I feel bad. I feel like this is. So, what do you think is the biggest failure point we're likely to hit with today's adventures with this?
I think the things that could happen. So, jokes aside, the changing bag isn't perfect.
That was never a joke. The changing bag is a disaster.
No, you'll be surprised to hear the changing bag isn't perfect.
Especially, do you actually use that? Because your arms are like tiny, thin twigs.
I'm a 12-year-old boy, man. You haven't to go to the gym until you've gone through puberty.
I should be more careful. I might have child services coming around here and giving me trouble.
What was I going to say? Well, again, I didn't want to say this while it was our only plan. But to be clear, I usually use that changing bag in a dark room. Not a fully dark room, but I minimise as much light as possible because I know it's not very light tight.
I have
Whereas we've done it in a studio with LED lighting.
I have a reputation of being incredibly careless and taking a very slapdash approach to things. Even I would have gone, no.
But at least we've done it in the quiet privacy of the internet.
That's true. No one will ever know.
So that's good news.
Okay, we're at 5 minutes. We've got a minute and a half left to go.
People are apologising a little bit.
What, for all the beard jokes?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I'm surprised that Lucy hasn't waded in. Lucy, if you're still there, I've already used the 3 men 1 beard anecdote that went down pretty well. How long have we got left?
1 minute. So
1 minute.
One more agitation.
So I think it could be that light's got in that way. It could be
I'm gonna
focus. I know is tricky. So no, I don't want to slander you, but it could be that focus is a bit tough there.
So what you're basically saying is it could be my fault if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, could be.
Paul, can you see? Are there jugs in that side? Plastic jug. Oh no, I got them.
People are saying that I should have told you about the changing bag thing before you used it.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Which, yeah, I mean, there's no excuse for that, really, is there?
No.
What was the other thing I was going to say? No, so there's that. I think apart from that, I mean, Rob knows what he's doing. So if there's one thing that hasn't gone wrong, it's anything that Rob was in charge of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which in fairness only really left the focusing.
Don't stop. You just randomise
What?
Don't agitate it again. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. What? So once we tip that out into there, what's the next step with that stuff?
This stuff, pour it back in there.
No, not that. The film. What do we do after the monobath?
That's it. Wash it.
Just wash it. Okay, cool. To tip it out then.
Where did it tip through?
Where's the big arrow?
How would you remember that? Ooh.
See, this is what I love about using foam and pan film.
Yes.
Is that it turns your developer into a delicious looking cocktail.
It's apple juice, right? Wait, let's get all of it. Because I can use this. So this was a slight purple before we used it.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone! Don't do that. So this has been devved, fixed, and everything now.
Yep.
So theoretically, you could just open that up now and...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll wash off. We'll do a couple of rinses here.
Yeah.
Because we are running out of time. We've got 10 minutes to get it on Instagram.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's just do it the quick way. So
Moment of truth. Moment of truth.
Oh, there's defo pictures on there.
Oh, also my wife's come in. Graeme meant to say Paul's punching above his weight, and you said under his weight.
No, I said Lucy was punching down, but that wasn't right. But yeah, Lucy's definitely punching below her weight.
Okay, good.
Lucy's settling. Is that the right word? A chat room, come up for more reasons why.
It's so strange that a random internet thing would turn into abuse. So you can see that the colours are coming off.
Yeah, so this is the thing that having never used the monobath before is interesting. So normally, in between the dev and the wash and the fix, the dye gets taken out, during the process. But obviously that dye is all.
Oh, I've also got people saying rinsing from the cold tap. The reason being, there's only cold water there, so you either have cold or boiling.
Yeah.
And we didn't pre-mix, sort of lukewarm. But yes, rinse with, ideally with water that's close to the one you did developing. It can reduce the mud effect.
Unless it's hugely different.
That is
I've
true.
not had makeup.
It's worth saying what should be done, and people will know not to.
The problem if you put film in and there's a big temperature difference, you can get reticulation, but I've never had that happen.
Yeah. Also, there's lots of people commenting on our technique, which is very fair. You may have spotted we are not the most detail-oriented people all the way through. So yeah, by no means is this the perfect way to do things. We're trying to get a photo on, and I'm just hoping that it shows something. We will. I think if this sort of thing turns into some, there will be great videos on YouTube by people better qualified than us, showing better technique from start to finish for the perfect thing.
They would have live streamed it in.
Yes, they will also have practiced. They might have prepped, so people can't be trusted.
Yeah.
So how are we looking?
The dye is still coming off.
So there's not a huge science to rinsing. I've definitely rinsed for 30 seconds and thought that'll do for now, and regretted it. And I've rinsed for 2 hours by accident by forgetting it. I think there is probably official guidance there. We're using running water, again, for ease. There are ways that you can...
Do you know what the Ilford method is? So the Ilford method is the most water efficient one.
Yeah.
So that's where you fill up your tank. Doesn't matter whether it's large format. Give it 5 agitations, empty out. Then 10 agitations and empty out. And then I think it's 20 agitations and empty out, and you're done. But there might be a 15 agitation stop in there. But it certainly wasn't. People in chat. I think we're trying to get.
And the water, all the water doing is it's getting rid of the chemicals now. The film should be what it will be. After the fix.
Whatever's done is done.
But it's getting rid of the chemicals.
Mostly the dye.
And then it's that could A, cause artifacts to stay dry, and B, are not very pleasant things to have. We will be washing our hands straight after this as well. Right, we're getting there. We're still.
I think, to be honest, that's probably.
Bear in mind we've got 6 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So, you can show people as well. Show people what it looks like in the tin as well before we take it out. So, when Graeme was talking earlier about how he fixed it in,
here we go. By the way, you can actually see that there's pictures on there. You might be able to.
Ah, yes.
I can see you on there. Right.
I'm just going to wash my hands while we.
It only looks as though one of them has been seriously muffed by light coming in. Only one of them looks like a bust.
Which one's that?
The one that hasn't got a picture on it. But the other 3...
That might be the thousands.
You're absolutely right. It's the multiple exposure that hasn't worked.
Why do we think that is?
Don't know. We'll have a look and see. I think it might have been blasted out. is my suspicion. I think we gave it too much light. I think the quick back of the pan, just close it down 4 times, was not.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take it back. There is. The film wasn't quite loaded on there properly, but
okay. So what we're going to do is we'll keep it here for simplicity. If there's an extra plug,
yeah, you're over there.
Okay. So I'm just going to grab the light table, and we will see it straight away. Talk through how you would dry it, Graeme.
I would hang it up and leave it to dry naturally. Is what I would do with that, but that's going to take far longer than we've got. So, you bought a squeegee with you, didn't you, Paul? I hate
35mm one, yeah.
So I think what we might try doing is just wiping it with a microfiber cloth. Like I said, this is not something I would ever do. Also, this squeegee came from the same place as your dart bag, didn't it? Yep.
So it'll be fine.
So we won't use that. So if you're going to use a squeegee, make sure it's super clean and is stored away and is not old and ratty. Otherwise, all that will happen when you run it down your film is that you'll put nice big scratches in there. This one I don't think is worth using. So we won't.
I don't know why. It's from the 70s and it's been stored in dark.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I'm careless. You're making me look bad. So I think the only thing we can do to try and digitize is just to wipe them off. I think that's the only option that is open to us. Whoops. That's not one regular anyway. So, have you got a clean microfiber cloth? I've got one if you haven't. I have one. Yeah.
So here we go. What we have here, if we can turn it a little bit now.
Yeah, you can turn it right there.
So this is the light panel that's plugged in. So there's 3 settings. You want it as bright as possible because you want it to overwhelm all of the other light. Now again, normally what we do is we turn all these lights off. One of the many compromises we've made from quality is that we are not going to do that.
You know what we can do, Bob? If you can shield it using dark cloth.
Yeah, let's try it first without. So again, this is me talking about the way that I do it. Lots of people have different things. So the app that I'm going to use is Film Lab app. It came out on iPhone first, it's now on Android. And what you do when you open it, it's very simple. You can see that, hopefully. So this is clearly on colour negative setting. So you can see there, colour negative, black and white, and then positive. So we're clearly shooting black and white. So you can see, if you show the negative, and then we do this immediately, you can start to see me come through in lovely 3D. We've also got people saying, Rachel. Rachel is definitely a much better developer and better at detail than us. So anything that she says or criticism she makes are very valid.
Has she been criticising the way we've been doing this?
What?
Has anybody come up with any good suggestions for how to dry this faster?
Does anyone know how to dry it faster?
I'm going to guess no.
Stick it in front of the big lights, the thing. Use your fingers.
My fingers are not that long.
Someone said microwave it.
Ooh, have we got a microwave?
No. We've got 2 minutes.
Okay,
2 minutes to dry it.
Alright, I'm just gonna wipe it down.
Don't look. Oh, scratches. I can feel it.
It's not the scratch that I'm worried about, to be honest. It's more just the general
Alright.
thing.
It's 3 minutes to 5.
Alright.
So what you then do with the app is you literally use a salad spinner.
I use a salad spinner!
I was going to do a hairdryer, but it might melt things.
A salad spinner is not a hairdryer.
Oh no, people are also saying hairdryers. See, I'm glad other people are irresponsible as well. Okay, so the black and white. So you can see, again, this is reading live black and white native. Literally all I'm going to do is going to hold it over, take a photo with that, upload it to there, and then it'll be on. Oh, it's got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left for it to be on Instagram.
Okay, alright. Hang on. This is surprisingly, Paul.
Yeah.
This isn't easy or a good idea. It has all the hallmarks of one of yours by being neither easy nor good.
Microwave apparently isn't a good idea, despite what we thought.
Oh my god!
We've got less than 2 minutes.
This is going to have all of the dust in the world.
We don't have time. We don't have time for this.
All right. I'm just trying to wipe off the.
No, he's wiping off the dust with something else that's dusty.
I'm wiping off the water. This is shocking. We
have less than 2 minutes.
How long does it take to put something on Instagram?
More than. I've got to see all my hashtags.
Oh god, I hate you.
Hashtag Analogue Spotlight.
Hashtag where's my beard? Where is my beard?
Hashtag beard escape.
All right. Well, that's
Right, go on.
awful. God,
Go on.
I haven't. With apologies to everyone in the photograph community for the crime that has just been committed. We'll do the other ones better and later.
Oh, you can see the scratches.
Oh, really, Paul? Where is it? Just let me.
Oh no! Get off! Get off! This is not. What's the time?
Paul, we've only got 1 minute.
You interact with the community.
Paul's having a little moment. Everyone, just let him get on with it. Let's look at that.
Okay, we have a photo. It's processing. Wow. So the way that the app does it, it applies the very basics. Hamish is on our side. Just do it.
For the record, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse this off, put this back in the tray, and take it home and dry it properly because I can't. I just can't even.
So you can then make basic adjustments within it. Okay, how are we doing? How are we doing for time? 5 seconds too late.
Well, that was an entire.
Well, never mind. I won't put it on Instagram then.
He's got to go now.
And it's coming. There we go. The photo is going up. So now what is happening?
Now what's happening is I'm putting that back in there, having rinsed off hopefully the worst of the dust. And I will let these dry naturally and try and digitise them a little better at a later date. Because wiping them dry is a terrible, terrible idea.
Okay.
But we've learned something. We've learned that was a bad idea.
We've learned a lot. So on Instagram stories, there we go. You can see it there.
You're going to put a filter on it? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to put a filter?
Yeah, Rio de Janeiro. It's going to be colourful, normal, unfiltered.
Do it.
Boom.
There you go.
There we go. So if you go to Analogue Wonderland account, on the stories is the photo. Wasn't in time. It was 1 minute late. Quality was mediocre.
Well, I mean, what do you think of the picture?
I really like it.
So all right. So let's.
I do really like it.
I mean, let's actually, rather than saying the quality was mediocre, let's look at what we did rather than what we didn't do. It was a minute late.
Okay.
So actually, let me bring up the picture so I can see it now that you scanned it in. So this is such a rush job. So I didn't really get a chance to even look at it. So let's look at it on your phone because you've got it on there. How did it actually come out? The lighting looks fabulous in it. There we go. Lighting is great. It's all in focus. Alright, the dust is something
There's
special.
dust, there's scratches.
That's how you know that was not his one we prepared earlier.
Yeah.
But the picture came out really well.
And actually, if you zoom in, the focus is spot on.
The focus is spot on, yeah.
The colours are nice.
And I am genuinely stunned that dart bag did not ruin all the film. I am amazed. Which goes to show that even if things are not all working well, even if you don't have perfect gear and perfect everything, you can still do this stuff. 4x5.
Okay, so we've got a bit of feedback. The mouse is bigger on the photo.
We did Photoshop a better beard onto Paul.
If we had time, we would do a double exposure with my face and an actual mouse. Sadly, we're running off. All right then, so we are coming to the end of what has been a fairly epic 3 hours. So let's try and do some kind of meaningful wrap up, and then let everyone else get on with their lives. We'll let Rob go home because we didn't tell him it's going to be this long either. So. First of all, huge thanks to everyone who has followed along, got involved. As we said right at the start, we couldn't let this weekend go by without something. I mean, I don't know if people saw Hamish's blog post on, I think it was Friday, where he talked about obviously the disappointment the Analogue Spotlight hasn't gone on. But one thing that has become quite clear in the last week in particular is being that as a community, when we first said, we're going to do a Spotlight, bring together micro businesses, businesses without a lot of money, without a huge amount of experience of coherently pulling something together, just because everyone's been so focused on their own. There was understandably, I think, not concern, but no one knew how it would turn out. And I think getting to that point when it was so close, you look at the speaker schedule across those 4 days, You look at the fact that you guys had a live show in an 150-seat theatre. When things went wrong, we tried to do a plan B. That plan B looked great until we cancelled it 2 days later. Hamish said this really well, I think, was that the momentum and the sort of what we can do as a community was quite clear. So I'm not going to bang on about it.
Yay!
Exactly, but I do also want to say that
bang on a little bit.
I'll bang on a little bit more to say thank you, because that's not just the businesses that were involved. That was the fact that people were turning up to photo walks. That was the fact that people had bought those free, admittedly. People had committed to those 2016 tickets. And
I just want to give a shout out to Paula, who unfortunately, because that was gutting. So huge shout out to Paula, and we're really sorry we didn't get to see you on Saturday, because Paula saw the initial tweet saying we're going to do a photo walk this, and then didn't see the follow-up tweet, and so ended up in Birmingham. I think she had a great time out taking pictures. Well, she made the most of the fact that she was in Birmingham taking pictures. But Paula, we're really sorry. Next time, catch you.
Exactly, and next time hopefully is September. So, is there anything that you wanted to say? Any 2016 announcements? Any community stuff? Things coming up?
I just want to go and eat more food.
You've been eating constantly. I haven't eaten since.
There was a moment there where I was washing my hands.
I haven't eaten since I had a school lunch 2 hours ago.
Beans on toast. That's pretty much Charles' dinner.
All right then. So thanks so much, guys, for getting involved. So what we've had. So the 3 people who got the Colour Plus question correctly, Sam, Shirley, and Erdle Birdle, or whatever the thing was, message me and we'll get those done. The joke, I'll look back at all the jokes and we'll do something that says to choose a favourite. We'll also randomly pick somebody who participated to get the 5th block as well. Thanks so much to Kodak for sponsoring. Charlie, I think, has been in and out of this, so thank you so much, Kodak. Thank you so much to Rob once more.
Thanks, Rob.
Your expertise was brilliant. The fact you got involved with the jokes and the quiz is amazing, and we've ruined your Sunday. Thank you so much. Studio 88 in High Wycombe, that's where we are. As you can see, it's been a wonderful Analogue space. It's for hire. Rob is also for hire, not in a weird way, I don't think, but as a photographer. And that's it, really. Thanks so much for everyone who's got involved. Thanks so much for people who have corrected our mistakes, all of them. And that's it for now, I think.
Thanks very much, guys.
Now we have to turn this off.
Elegantly turn it off.
Maybe this is the moment when we'll actually Skype Hamish. It's too late.
Now you can get a real good look at that beard, folks. Bask in its glory. Not so much a home for a little family of mice, more...
Stop. 1,300 comments.
There you go. How many of them were get off?
How many of them were about my beard? 1,200.
We did it though. We did a lot.
That is really good. I would high five you, but health and safety.
At this point, if you've got it or I've got it, we've all got it. Yeah. Well, it was, considering how much prep we did.
No.
I think
that was really fun.
We did what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We
took the Hamish thing, like, that was annoying.
Yeah.
Because it felt like if you had 30 seconds to look in the settings, it would just work.
Yeah.
But you just can't do that when there's people watching.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, the photo shoot, it worked. We took the camera. It was.
That's amazing.
It's a dumb idea, and we did it, and it worked.
I really like that. That was fun. All right, same time next week.
Matthew's going to kill me because I didn't Instagram any of it. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know what. I mean, so what will happen now?
So can we?
So we're still live. What? I said end.
You know what? I think the fact this says live is probably a giveaway.
This is when we start insulting people. People are telling us. I didn't realise it was not live. We had a dramatic end. Well, no, we thought we'd stopped, but thanks.